Imagine that something completely new and wonderful is beginning right now. You're at a special point, like a crossroads where life is showing you that you have the opportunity to become someone you may never have fully imagined before. If you're feeling a little disoriented right now or think everything is repeating itself, that's no coincidence. It could be a sign that you're ready to make a change and rediscover your life. Sometimes we feel a gentle tug deep inside, like a whisper telling us that something out there is waiting for us that will fulfill us even more. Something inside us knows there is another life out there that contains more joy, meaning, and vitality. And the wonderful thing is, everything you need to shape this life is already within you. This power has always been there, sometimes very quiet, sometimes more strongly noticeable. Imagine that in the next few weeks you begin to discover and use this very power. What if in a few months you hardly recognize yourself, not because you have to change, but because you are finally showing what has long been waiting in your heart to be lived? Now is a good time to let go of the thoughts that are holding you back. You can now leave behind those stories in your head, the ones that keep telling you you can't do something or aren't strong enough. Instead, you can start choosing new thoughts full of courage, strength, and inner stability. This isn't anything completely new, but rather ancient knowledge that has helped many people. The teachings of the Stoics, a path that has developed over many, many years, show us how to build self-confidence. They help us stay calm when things get difficult and show us what really matters in life. And the great thing about it is, it doesn't take forever. After a while, you'll notice something changing inside you. Suddenly, setbacks don't make you so sad, your doubts subside, and what others think of you is no longer so important to you. And the best part, change doesn't have to be huge or scary. You simply move forward in small steps day by day. It's like a path up a high, beautiful hill. You don't run, you walk at your own pace, with patience and perseverance. And eventually, you'll look down at a wonderful view you could hardly have imagined before. The Stoics recognized long ago, change begins in the mind, not outside, not with your appearance, but in what you think. That's why you can turn your gaze inward, to where your true strength lies. Over time, you'll build something strong within yourself, like a sturdy house that stays standing even in storms. It gives you stability, even when everything outside is turbulent, and helps you not to be thrown off balance by little things. The first step isn't difficult at all. Let go of what's not good for you. Think about it. How often have you been annoyed or worried about things you can't change? That can be pretty tiring, right? The Stoics knew for a long time, much of our sorrow comes from wanting to hold on to things we can't control, like the opinions of others, sudden changes, or minor annoyances in everyday life. But true freedom begins when we stop trying to control these things. When you learn to do this, you'll discover a new peace within yourself. Then you can focus your energy on what you can really influence, your thoughts, your behavior, and your decisions. When you let go of unnecessary worries, your inner self becomes freer, and you make room for new things. Because when your heart and head are no longer full of old burdens, many new beautiful things can find their way to you. Every new day gives you the chance to wake up with a good feeling and know where you want to go. With courage and confidence, you follow your own path and step by step, create a life that truly suits you. In doing so, you slowly grow into the person you have always been, deep down. Along the way, you learn to remain patient and to feel your inner strength, especially when things get difficult. Being patient doesn't just mean waiting, it means waiting with hope. It means believing that something will change, even if you can't see it yet. Imagine you are planting a small seed in the soil. You don't see the flower straight away, but you trust that it will grow. It's the same with your small steps. Over time, something big will emerge from them. Something else that can give you a lot of inner strength is the feeling of gratitude. You may never have consciously considered how powerful this feeling can be. But if you pause for a moment every day and notice what is good, even if it's just a small thing, your view of the world changes. Suddenly, worries don't seem so big, and small successes make you truly happy. Gratitude calms your heart and helps you stay calmer even when things get difficult. When you are grateful, you strengthen yourself, quietly yet very strongly. And now let's talk about doing, about the importance of actually doing something. The Stoics we're talking about here weren't just thinkers, they also took action. They believed in making a little effort every day, even if it was just a small thing. You can do that too. When you understand that every choice, be it how you behave, what you say, or what you choose to do, is part of your path, then everything you do becomes more meaningful. It's like painting a big picture, and every single brushstroke matters. And one more thing, it's not just about reaching your destination. Sometimes the journey there is the most valuable part. When you begin to appreciate your effort and your steps, you know you're on the right path. True happiness doesn't come just from achieving something, but from making the effort and putting in the hard work. When you learn to find joy in the journey, you become stronger, and you stay true to yourself, even when things get difficult. This strength becomes your inner protection. It helps you avoid being sidetracked by doubts or distractions. The beautiful thing about your path is that when you change, your environment will also change a little. Others might not notice it right away, but when you become calmer, think more clearly, and accept yourself better, the people around you will sense it. Some might take a closer look and notice something's happening, and maybe they too will feel the urge to take new steps, simply because you're showing them it's possible. So you're not just setting out for yourself. You're becoming someone who inspires others. And when things get tough, and they definitely will, you'll be prepared. You'll have many positive thoughts within you that will help you not give up. One of the most important thoughts is this: our lives are special and not infinite. That may sound sad at first, but it's actually something precious, because it shows us how important each and every day is. When you understand that, small moments become more meaningful. You'll make decisions with more heart, with more feeling. You'll realize how valuable time is, and that using it well is something special. So consider this a friendly invitation. You're not just setting out to improve something. You're beginning to live something that's always been there deep within you, but perhaps hasn't yet found the right place. You don't have to wait for the right moment. The moment is already here, right now. Now is the time to discover your inner strength, to boldly explore new paths, and to create something you can be proud of. Imagine looking back in a few months and thinking, wow, I did that. Then you'll see how far you've come, and that every step, even the smallest, was worth it. Because right now could be the beginning of something big, something that changes the way you think, feel, and view the world. Now comes a particularly important part, stepping out of that comfortable corner that often feels so cozy, like a warm blanket or your favorite spot. But that's exactly where so much remains the same. This spot is familiar, yes, but it also holds you. It's a bit like sitting in a cozy room and forgetting that a large garden full of possibilities awaits outside. We should be aware. This comfort zone gives us a sense of security. But sometimes it's like a fence we can't see. You rarely take risks there, but you also miss out on new opportunities. Real growth, exciting experiences, and new discoveries usually happen outside of this zone, where things may be a bit unfamiliar, but also much more vibrant. The Stoics, wise people of the past, have known this for a long time. They said, if you want to get to know yourself better and become inner strong, you sometimes have to do things that aren't comfortable. Only when you have the courage to step outside the comfort zone can you feel how much strength you truly possess. For them, courage wasn't just bravery. It was like an inner muscle that helps you cope with difficult moments and live a good life. Let's look at how this works together. Whenever you dare to step even a little bit outside of the norm, you grow in your heart and in your mind. Our thinking loves comfort, but every time you dare to try something new, you strengthen your inner strength. The ancient Stoics believed that by consciously choosing small challenges, you learn to remain calm and clear, even when things get difficult. You can imagine it like training your mind. If you repeatedly set yourself small tasks that require a bit of courage, your thinking will become stronger and more flexible. And what's the best way to start exploring new paths? The first step is to become aware. Ask yourself, where in your everyday life is everything very familiar, but perhaps also a bit boring? Perhaps you always do the same thing at school or at home, or you're hesitant to take up a new hobby. That's where your so-called comfort zone begins. It feels safe, but it can also hold you back from discovering new things. And that's exactly where you can start. You don't have to do anything big. Small steps are enough. For example, if you're usually quiet in a group, try contributing on one occasion. Or if you're hesitant to approach someone, start with a friendly hello. These small changes make a huge difference in the long run, because with every little moment of courage, you tell yourself, I can do this. And little by little, what felt strange at first will become completely normal. One exercise the Stoics often practiced was voluntary renunciation. It sounds difficult, but it's simple. They consciously made small things more difficult for themselves in order to become stronger inside. They wanted to learn to be content with less, so they could remain calm even in tough times. That doesn't mean punishing yourself. It might mean wearing simple clothes, giving up sweets, or sleeping without a bed for a night. Sounds unusual? Maybe. But it shows you don't always need the best to feel good, and that makes you strong. Such small exercises will help you not only better manage everyday life, but also deal with unexpected moments. When something unexpected suddenly happens, you'll notice your mind is ready, because you've practiced not being immediately frightened, but remaining curious. This is precisely where the special power of the Stoics shines through, because when you understand that discomfort is not an enemy, but a teacher, you'll go through life with more courage. You'll no longer avoid difficult things. Instead, you'll face them head-on, and it's precisely in moments like these that your true strength emerges. If you find the courage to try something new, even if it takes a bit of overcoming your fears, you'll notice that your self-confidence grows. Whenever you dare to do something you wouldn't normally do, you prove to yourself, I'm stronger than I thought. Courage isn't shown by avoiding difficulties, but by facing them up. And when you realize that you've gotten through unpleasant situations, something wonderful happens. You begin to believe in yourself. You realize that you can achieve a lot, no matter what life throws at you. This feeling is like solid ground beneath your feet. It carries you even when things get shaky. Something the Stoics, wise people of the past, teach us is, it's not always just about how something turns out. Often worries hold us back, the fear of doing something wrong or not being good enough. But the Stoics said it's much more important that you dare. Just trying shows that you're brave, even if not everything works out. If you make an effort and do your best, that counts more than the result. Because the courage to try is more valuable than perfect success. This perspective can change a lot. You stop letting setbacks discourage you. Instead, you begin to realize that you can learn something from every experience. Even if it turns out differently than you hoped, every attempt takes you further. And that's exactly what makes you strong. You learn to see setbacks not as an end, but as an opportunity to continue and grow. And then something unexpected happens. If you do things more often that initially seem strange, you realize that what you were afraid of is often not so bad after all. Sometimes our minds imagine terrible things, but when we dare to do it, we realize it wasn't that bad after all. And each time you do it, you become more confident. You tell yourself, I can do this. This not only makes you braver, but also more open to new things. Maybe you'll try something small today that you wouldn't have dared to do yesterday. When you face your fear, it diminishes. You realize that you can keep going, even when things don't go perfectly. You stay true to yourself, perhaps even stronger than before. That's exactly what the Stoics meant when they said, live with what is. Don't expect everything to be easy, but don't be overly afraid of difficulties either, because many worries only arise in our heads, and when you confront them directly, they lose their power. Remember, every time you're brave, you grow in a very special way. You become someone who remains open and curious, even when things are unfamiliar. At first, it will feel new, but soon it will get easier. Things that used to scare you suddenly seem smaller. That's real change. You start thinking differently, feel stronger, and see new possibilities where there were previously only obstacles. And with every step, your belief in yourself grows. I can do this. The comfort zone is like a cozy favorite place, warm, familiar, and comfortable. But sometimes this very comfort causes you to miss out on new things. If you dare to leave this place for a little while, you'll suddenly discover sides of yourself you didn't even know existed. Maybe you'll realize you're braver, wiser, or more creative than you thought. Every step out helps you learn more about yourself and become stronger. Even if it feels strange at first, this path is worth it, because the real adventure begins outside, full of discovery and growth. This would never have happened in your cozy nest. With every day that you dare to do something a little differently, you come closer to your true self. You won't suddenly become someone completely different, but you will free yourself from what has held you back. At some point, you'll realize the zone in which you felt safe was like an invisible cage that made you small. But when you leave it, you'll feel how much space there is out there. Room for new thoughts, dreams, and adventures. Then you'll realize many limits were only in your head, and you're capable of much more than you previously believed. As soon as you've taken this first step, you'll see many things with new eyes, even things that previously bothered or saddened you. Sometimes frustration shows you that something in your life isn't quite right. This feeling isn't meant to annoy you, it's meant to help you change something. If you just complain, everything will stay the same. But if you instead develop an idea about how you could do something better, you'll make a difference. The Stoics believed that true strength is shown when you take responsibility and don't just complain. When you start tackling things, you'll realize that frustration isn't your enemy. It's a sign that you can improve something. When you stop getting angry about things you can't change and instead ask yourself, what can I do? You open up new possibilities. Many complaints arise from feeling helpless or ignored, but when you use your power to make a difference, you feel like you really can make a difference. The Stoics, wise people from the past, said, "We can't decide what happens, but we can always choose how we deal with it." So when you choose to stay calm and act thoughtfully, instead of just getting angry, your life becomes clearer and feels more worthwhile. You're in the driver's seat, and you turn problems into opportunities. The first step to turning anger into something good is to ask yourself, why am I angry or sad? Every time you complain, there's a desire behind it, something you're missing. For example, if you think, nobody praises me, ask yourself, why is this important to me? Maybe you just want to show that you're making an effort and want to be seen for it. Once you recognize this, you can think about how you can change it. This turns the unpleasant feeling into a goal you can tackle. Looking at your feelings this way creates courage, hope, and movement. Another important step is to take matters into your own hands. If you just complain, you blame others or life. Then you feel powerless, and that hurts. But if you say, I'll see what I can do myself, you get your strength back. That doesn't mean you're responsible for everything. It just means you always have a choice about how you want to react to a difficult situation. If you've had an argument with someone, for example, you can think about how you can have a clarifying conversation, build trust, or better protect yourself. That way you can move forward, whereas constant complaining keeps you stuck. And the best part, you realize you're not at the mercy of circumstances, but someone who can make a difference. Taking responsibility also means recognizing what you can influence and what you can't. Sometimes we wish others would behave differently, or that past events could be undone. But that's not in our hands. The Stoics said, we can only control our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. When you stop worrying about what's beyond your control and focus on what you can change, you'll become calmer and feel stronger at the same time. You'll realize, even if the world around you is difficult, you can still do something. But that doesn't mean you have to hide your feelings. It's perfectly fine to be disappointed or angry sometimes. What matters is how you deal with those feelings. You can use them to sense where something is wrong, and then think about what you want to change. Imagine you feel tired and unwell. Instead of saying, I don't have time for exercise, you can say, I do 5 minutes of exercise every day. Small steps often get you further than big promises. And every time you take a step like that, your confidence in yourself grows, and you feel like continuing. The Stoics also believed that action often accomplishes more than words. It's easy to complain, But when you start looking for solutions, you get a good feeling and see new paths you hadn't noticed before. Your thoughts become clearer and you begin to focus on what you can change instead of what bothers you. For example, if you feel you're being treated unfairly at school, you can consider, how can I talk better to the teacher? How can I present my assignments more boldly? Or how can I learn to feel inner strength even when things are difficult? All of this gives you new strength, and you realize, I am not powerless. When you begin to take responsibility for your actions, you become stronger inside. Every time you decide to do something instead of just complaining, your self-belief grows. Even if things don't always work out, you tried something, and that counts. This strength stays with you even in difficult times. You remain calm and courageous, even when the going gets tough. Over time, you'll realize you have more control over your life than you previously thought. You'll shift from someone who merely reacts to things to someone who makes conscious decisions. This new attitude will also affect your friendships and relationships. When you stop complaining and instead look for solutions, others will see that you're someone who thinks and participates. This creates a sense of togetherness, and you grow together. It's not about forgetting your own wishes. It's about expressing them in a way that helps others understand you better and are more likely to want to help you. When you choose to take action, you also show, I am strong. Life isn't always easy, and things often don't go the way you want them to. But true strength doesn't mean trying to avoid everything that's unpleasant. It's about learning to deal with it. When you encounter an obstacle, don't see it as a stop, but as an opportunity to try something new. Maybe something doesn't work out the way you hoped, but you can consider how to do it better next time. This way of thinking not only makes you strong, but also adaptable. And in a world that is constantly changing, this is a skill that will keep you moving forward. In Stoicism, taking responsibility means becoming internally free. When you stop constantly complaining and start doing something instead, you stop waiting for the world to change on its own. You start making a difference yourself. Something special happens. The more you take responsibility for your own life, the less what's happening around you can throw you off track. You become like a writer writing your own story. You make decisions that suit you instead of simply being dictated by other people or circumstances. This way of living helps you align yourself with your own values and get to know yourself better. This new path does not require perfection. It's not about doing everything right away. It's enough to take small steps and be open to learning. For example, if you're struggling with your money, consider what you want to change, even if it's just small things. Maybe you make a plan to better manage your money, or you find an easy way to earn a little extra money. Every step counts. Over time, you'll realize that you have much more influence over your life than you previously thought. This path also brings gratitude into your life. When you take action, you begin to appreciate the journey, not just the destination. You focus less on what's missing and more on what you can do. That doesn't mean everything will be easy, but you'll feel that you're strong enough to handle difficulties. Every problem becomes an opportunity to learn something new. You grow from it, and the more you grow, the more joy you can have in your life, because you know you can trust yourself. Moving from complaining to doing changes a lot. When you stop thinking that life just rolls over you and realize that you can shape things yourself, your perspective on everything changes. With every decision in which you choose action over complaining, you come closer to the life you want, a life fueled by courage, perseverance, and determination. This is a success that no amount of complaining can achieve. This attitude gives you strength, allows you to grow, and gives your life direction. Once you take action instead of complaining, you can also learn something else important: letting go of expectations. We often have ideas in our heads about how things should be, and when things turn out differently, we become disappointed, sad, or even angry. These inner ideas sometimes lead us to cling to something that isn't possible. When you learn to let go of such expectations, you become calmer. You can then think more clearly and move through life with more confidence. You begin to see the world as it really is, not just as you wish it to be. If we always hold on to expectations, we often end up in a spiral of disappointment. For example, we hope that people behave exactly as we imagine they will. But that doesn't always work out. The Stoics knew long ago, it's not things themselves that make us unhappy, but our rigid ideas about them. When you stop clinging to your expectations, you can better accept what's happening. Then you find peace in the moment, without worrying about what hasn't happened yet or what went differently than planned. Letting go of expectations helps you truly experience the moment. Imagine how often you dwell on the future or the past. In doing so, you miss what's right in front of you. When you learn to accept things as they are, your mind will become clearer. You don't have to give up on what's important to you. You just have to stop resisting everything that's going differently. This attitude brings you inner peace and helps you make wise decisions. An important step in letting go is to find out where our expectations actually come from. Some of these ideas arise because other people pass them on to us. For example, our family or society. Perhaps you believe that you have to have achieved something specific by a certain age, or you think others should always know exactly what you need. When you start to question these thoughts, you often realize that they don't help you at all. Instead, they put pressure on you or make you anxious. When you realize that many of these expectations don't fit with what's really important to you, you can let them go. And then you can live your life more freely and honestly, the way that truly suits you. A good way to let go of expectations is to practice acceptance. The ancient philosophers known as the Stoics said, acceptance doesn't mean agreeing with everything. Rather, it means accepting things as they are, without wishing they were different. If we can do that, we can remain calmer and deal better with difficult situations. For example, if a friend disappoints us, it's normal to feel sad or angry, but instead of dwelling on it for a long time, we can consider how to deal with it and what we can learn from it. Acceptance doesn't mean simply accepting everything. It means being able to think things through calmly and then act consciously. This helps us remain clear-headed and kind, even in difficult moments. When we stop expecting too much, we become stronger. Expectations often make our lives difficult because we want everything to go our way. But life doesn't always follow plans. When we learn to let go of expectations, we become more adaptable. This means we can better deal with change and make the best of what happens. When things don't go as planned, we can remain open-minded and find new ways forward. This ability helps us to have courage even in difficult times and not let our heads hang. Our relationships also improve when we expect less. Often arguments arise because we think others should behave a certain way. But when we stop constantly expecting how others should behave, things become much more relaxed between us. We can accept our friends and family members as they truly are, with their strengths and weaknesses. This brings greater understanding, genuine respect, and a deeper connection. When we don't try to change others, everyone feels better. How we deal with setbacks can also change. If we have very fixed ideas about how something should go, we quickly feel disappointed when things turn out differently. But if we remain open-minded, we can see setbacks as learning opportunities. The Stoics believe that we learn the most from mistakes. As long as we learn something from them, there is no true failure. When we let go of our expectations, we realize that every mistake helps us improve and grow. A wonderful part of letting go is the inner peace it brings. Expectations can often make us anxious. We think about what might go wrong or whether others will disappoint us. These thoughts can make us tired. When we learn to let go, we can truly enjoy the moment without constantly thinking about the future. Difficulties won't disappear, but they will feel lighter. We can move through life with more peace and an open heart. Another beautiful way to let go of expectations is gratitude. When we focus on what we already have, instead of always looking at what we still lack, we feel much happier. Gratitude helps us see the good in the present, even when things aren't perfect. This way, we don't just look for happiness in the future, but discover it in the moment. This fills our hearts and brightens our days. When we take the world as it is, we realize what is really important to us. We often think that life has to be a certain way, but when we let go of this idea, we can better sense what is important to us personally. The Stoics said, Live so that your choices align with your own values, not just the expectations of others. When we choose our goals based on what truly makes us happy, our lives become more honest and fulfilling. Perhaps the most beautiful part of letting go is the freedom it brings. Many people believe they need to plan and control a lot to be happy, but that's often exhausting. When we let go of expectations, we can experience life much more easily and freely. We are no longer trapped in thoughts about how something should be. Instead, we are open to what is and can enjoy it. That doesn't mean we shouldn't have dreams anymore. We can continue working toward our goals, just with more ease. We can wish for something to succeed without clinging rigidly to it. When life doesn't go as planned, we remain calm and flexible. This allows us to enjoy the journey, not just the destination. And that's often where the greatest joy lies. If we stop constantly thinking about how everything should be, we can much more easily accept things as they really are. This acceptance brings with it a calm and steady attitude that helps us navigate life's ups and downs without our happiness depending on the outcomes. Inner peace doesn't mean running away from reality, but learning to understand and accept it. In this way, we realize that each moment is exactly right as it is. With this peace, we can see life more clearly and enjoy the simple pleasures of the here and now, rather than being stressed out by complicated ideas about how things should be. Choosing acceptance instead of always having expectations is a major change. It makes us more resilient, peaceful, and happy. Expectations often promise happiness, but they usually bring disappointment. Acceptance, on the other hand, gives us true contentment that doesn't depend on external things or results. It allows us to experience life in all its beauty without burdening it with ideas of what it should be like. Should be. When we live like this, we don't just have to endure, we can truly flourish because we are free from the limitations of expectations. Once you've learned to let go of your expectations, you'll feel a new strength within you, the ability to trust in yourself. You'll remain calm and strong no matter what's happening around you. Self-confidence doesn't mean you have to isolate yourself from others. It means finding an inner home so secure that you can overcome any difficulty. When you no longer constantly need external validation, you'll discover a freedom and strength that only comes from believing in yourself. A deep peace grows within you when you know you are enough and that you can rely on yourself. No one can give you this peace from the outside. Your self-confidence becomes your sure footing in an often unpredictable world. Self-confidence means believing in your own judgment, knowing your worth, and knowing that you're ready for whatever life throws at you. This doesn't mean you always have all the answers, but rather being confident that you can find them when you need them. Many people seek approval from others to feel important, but when you learn to be enough for yourself, this desire diminishes. Instead, you become calm and secure in your trust. You no longer allow doubt or the fear of others' opinions to hold you back. You follow your inner compass and shape your life according to your own values and goals. This trust gives you a strong sense of security and power. An important step in developing self-confidence is getting to know yourself better. This means knowing what's important to you, what brings you joy, and what qualities define you. When you're clear about these things, you become your own guide. This allows you to make decisions that truly suit you without being unsettled by the opinions of others. This clarity will help you overcome even difficult situations and shape your life in a way that's good for you. Self-confidence also means taking responsibility for your own life. You recognize that your happiness and growth depend on you. When you accept responsibility, you know you can shape your life instead of waiting for things to change on their own. You become the engine that drives your goals forward. Responsibility helps you stay strong and adapt, even when things get difficult. This is an important part of resilience, the ability to not give up when life presents challenges. Life is sometimes unpredictable. If you rely solely on others, you're vulnerable. But if you build your inner strength, you'll be better able to handle whatever comes your way. Resilience doesn't mean you won't have problems, but rather that you learn to overcome them without giving up. You'll find that with every difficulty, you become stronger. Every hurdle helps you solidify your foundation, so you can stand firm even in stormy times. This inner strength makes you less dependent on things outside yourself for security. Self-confidence also means having faith that you can make good decisions. Many people doubt themselves because they're afraid of making mistakes or disappointing others. But when you have self-confidence, you don't constantly question your decisions. You believe you're making the right choice, even if you don't yet know the outcome. That doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes, but you learn from them and move on. Every experience, whether good or bad, helps you grow and strengthens your self-belief. This confidence gives you the feeling that you can follow your own path and achieve your dreams. An important step in becoming independent is to be kind to yourself. Many people are often their own harshest critics and are quick to blame themselves when things don't work out or mistakes are made. But being independent doesn't mean always doing everything right. It means being kind to yourself, even when things go wrong. When you treat yourself with love, you can accept your weaknesses without feeling sad or discouraged. This way you create a space within yourself where you can grow instead of constantly being annoyed. Self-compassion makes you strong because you understand that you don't have to be perfect to be valuable or capable. It's about being willing to learn new things and continue to develop. Self-confidence also means not always seeking praise from others. While it feels good when others praise you, this feeling often doesn't last long. True confidence comes from within when you are enough for yourself. When you stop always expecting validation from others, you feel freer. Then you can pursue your own goals without being distracted by others. This self-confidence is a source of strength that doesn't depend on whether others like you or not. It helps you be honest and follow your own dreams. As you become more self-sufficient, you also feel more independent. Independence doesn't mean you don't need friends, but rather that you can take good care of yourself, even when you're feeling insecure. This independence gives you the courage to try new things, take risks, and pursue your dreams without fear of being alone. You know you can rely on yourself to get through difficult times. This allows you to develop without feeling lonely or overwhelmed. Your self-confidence grows, and you recognize more and more opportunities around you. Another important aspect of self-employment is that you learn to solve your own problems. Instead of always waiting for help, you find ways to tackle problems yourself. When you overcome a challenge, you feel good because you realize that you are strong and can accomplish things. This ability builds your self-confidence and makes you internally strong. It shows you that you can overcome obstacles and will succeed. Self-confidence also helps you know and express your limits. When you trust yourself, you stop trying to please everyone, especially when it's not good for you. Setting boundaries shows that you respect yourself. You're managing your time and energy so you can focus on what's important to you. Boundaries help you find a healthy balance without constantly fulfilling other people's wishes. When you know your own limits, you feel less stressed and more in tune with yourself. Another gift of self-reliance is the inner peace you find. When you don't make your happiness dependent on other people or things, you can feel deep peace within. This peace stays with you, even when life gets difficult. You find fulfillment within yourself without always seeking praise or recognition. This inner peace gives you the strength to remain calm, even when you feel stressed or insecure. It's like a safe place you can always return to. This peace accompanies you on your path and helps you face life's challenges with composure. When you have more self-confidence, you also recognize your own worth better. You understand that your worth doesn't depend on what others think of you, but on what you carry within you. This knowledge makes you strong and gives you the courage to live your life confidently. You no longer allow yourself to be dictated to by others or guided by fashion trends. You decide for yourself what is important and right for you. This strong sense of your own worth helps you to be honest with yourself and live according to your own dreams. Self-confidence also brings with it the desire to continually grow. When you trust yourself, you want to learn new things and improve. You see difficulties not as problems, but as opportunities to improve. You're open to new ideas and advice because you know they'll help you move forward. This way you grow little by little and become the best version of yourself. Every small step shows you that you're on the right path. Ultimately, self-employment means a special kind of freedom. It allows you to live your life the way you want, without constantly adapting to the wishes of others. You can pursue your interests, discover new things, and live a life that truly suits you. This freedom doesn't mean you're alone. It means you believe in yourself and know you're strong no matter what happens. When you become your own best friend, you realize you already have everything you need inside you. You just have to let it out. This freedom gives you the courage to try new things and take on challenges because you know you can overcome them. The inner strength you gain through self-reliance is the foundation for a life full of peace, confidence, and meaning. When you trust yourself, you experience a new freedom. You learn to let go, not because you don't care about anything, but because you no longer cling to things you can't change. When we cling too tightly to something, it can hurt us. Whether it's a friendship, a possession, or an achievement, the more we tie our happiness to such things, the more power they gain over us. Letting go helps you enjoy life without being dependent on what you have or don't have. Letting go means living with life and facing each moment calmly, regardless of what you have or don't have. This ability gives you inner peace and makes you strong, so that you are not tossed around by life's ups and downs. For the Stoics, a group of thinkers, letting go is an active choice in which you try to change your thoughts. Instead of believing that you absolutely need something to be happy, you learn to appreciate life as it is and to be content in the here and now. This new perspective opens the way to clarity and peace. When you stop trying to control everything, you will no longer react to change with disappointment or anger. Instead, you see each moment as a special experience that helps you grow, regardless of whether it turns out the way you want it to. This allows you to live in harmony with life's changes. The first step in letting go is understanding how holding on to things can hurt us. When we make our happiness dependent on things we can't change, we make ourselves sad or anxious. A treasured object might break, a friendship might change, or a dream might not come true. When we cling to these things too tightly, we believe our happiness depends on them. But when we understand that our inner peace doesn't, we can let go of these things more easily. We learn to be grateful for what we have without fear of loss. We can feel love without being dependent on them, and work toward our goals without feeling trapped by them. Letting go doesn't mean you stop worrying. It means you stop holding on. There's a big difference. Worry comes from love, while holding on often comes from fear of losing or failing. When you learn to let go, you free yourself from that fear and can feel love, joy, and excitement freely without having to control everything. In friendships and relationships, letting go means loving someone without wanting to possess them. You let the other person be who they are without attaching your expectations to them. This love is free and respects the other person's personality, allowing your connection to grow without pressure. Letting go also helps you find better balance, especially when it comes to the things you own. These days, many people believe their worth depends on what they own. But the more we define ourselves by our things, the more they can control us. Letting go means enjoying things without them becoming a part of us. It means appreciating what we have without clinging to it. This way, we are free from the fear of losing something or always needing more. Instead of constantly searching for more, we can be content with what is simply there. When we don't cling to certain outcomes, we open ourselves to many new possibilities and can even discover beauty in things that would otherwise have disappointed us. Letting go teaches us to relax our expectations and see every experience as an opportunity to learn, rather than simply a means to an end. This doesn't mean we should stop pursuing dreams or having goals. It just means we can deal with the outcomes more easily and remain open to whatever happens. This openness helps us adapt and experience life courageously and calmly, without putting pressure on ourselves. When we let go, we also understand our feelings better. When we hold on to feelings, they can sometimes confuse us, pulling us from one feeling to another. But when we let go, we can look at our feelings without letting them control us. Instead of being overwhelmed by anger, sadness, or joy, we learn that these feelings are only temporary. When we simply accept them without getting caught up in them, we find inner peace. This way we remain calm even when our feelings change. This ability makes us strong and helps us approach problems with a clear head and better handle difficult situations. Another important aspect of letting go is not to cling to the past. Many people cling to memories, whether good or bad, and allow them to influence their lives today. Letting go means being able to think about both good and bad memories without constantly dwelling on them. When we let go of the past, we make room for new experiences without being burdened by old things. This doesn't mean forgetting, but accepting the past as a part of us without letting it determine our future. This allows us to look forward and live in the moment. Letting go also helps us stop constantly comparing ourselves to others. When we're always thinking about how successful others are, we often measure our worth by what they've accomplished. This often makes us dissatisfied and makes us believe we're not good enough. But when we let go of these comparisons, we learn to value our own path. We realize that our life doesn't have to be like everyone else's, and that our worth doesn't depend on their successes. This freedom from comparison makes us proud of what we're accomplishing, and we can celebrate our progress without feeling bad about others' achievements. In friendships and relationships, letting go helps us maintain healthy connections. When we cling too tightly to certain expectations, we often put unnecessary pressure on others, hoping they'll fulfill our desires. Letting go means accepting people as they truly are, without trying to change them. When we can do this, a deeper connection develops, because we're not trying to control others. Instead, we learn to love them as they are, and build a relationship based on respect and understanding. Letting go also gives us inner peace. When we no longer constantly need something external to be happy, we discover a contentment that resides deep within us. This peace allows us to enjoy life with ease, without fear of constant change. We stop making our happiness dependent on things or people. Instead, we understand that true happiness lies within ourselves, a feeling that doesn't depend on what we own or who we're with. This inner peace becomes a sure footing that strengthens us even in difficult times. Letting go allows us to be curious about life. Instead of judging every situation as good or bad, we learn to see every experience as an opportunity to learn. When we let go, we remain open to whatever life brings us and approach challenges with wonder rather than fear. This openness makes us strong because we don't cling to specific outcomes but are willing to change, learn, and grow. When we approach life with curiosity, we feel more connected to the present moment. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on our dreams or desires. On the contrary, it makes us freer. When we're not attached to a specific outcome, we can pursue our passions with joy, without fear of failure. We can pursue our goals and enjoy the journey without letting the outcome stress us out. This makes our lives easier and more beautiful, because we act out of love for what we do, not out of fear. Letting go helps us live a life of balance and peace. It means letting go of the desire to control everything. That doesn't mean we no longer have goals or care. It means we can experience life more freely. We allow each moment to show us something new. When we practice letting go, we realize that the special thing about life is not holding on, but change and movement. We recognize that true strength lies in being able to let go. This freedom gives us joy and helps us to be fully in the here and now. When we no longer hold on, we experience a lightness and clarity that shows us the beauty of life. Letting go doesn't mean turning away from life, but connecting with it in a deeper and more beautiful way. When we no longer allow ourselves to be driven by our desires and expectations, we can enjoy life with wonder and peace, free from all constraints. Once you've learned to let go, you can focus on the good and the things you're grateful for, instead of worrying about what you don't like. Complaints often arise because we want something we don't have, or because we're dissatisfied with something. They distract us from seeing the positive. When we learn to be grateful instead of complaining, our perspective changes. Gratitude feels warm and beautiful and allows us to discover the good things in life instead of only seeing what's missing. It's not just about thinking differently, but about experiencing life in a new way. When we stop complaining, we learn to find solutions and discover opportunities instead of just seeing problems. If we focus too much on complaints, we lose sight of what's important and only see the bad. Gratitude helps us notice the good things too. It shows us what's going well, what brings us joy, and what we can appreciate in the moment. This doesn't mean we ignore difficulties, but we approach them with a more positive attitude. Gratitude allows us to notice the little things in life that we otherwise overlook, like the smell of fresh food or a friendly conversation. When we get used to being grateful, we see the world with a much brighter and friendlier perspective. Gratitude not only makes us happier, but also helps us feel joy even when things aren't going perfectly. We don't have to wait until everything is perfect to be happy. Instead, we can learn to appreciate what we already have. When we're grateful instead of constantly complaining, we find it easier to find ways to solve problems. If we only complain, we only see difficulties, but being grateful shows us how many opportunities there are, even in difficult times. For example, if you have a difficult school project, instead of complaining, you can be happy that you're learning something new or improving your skills. This shift in thinking will help you feel less annoyed and instead stay motivated. Gratitude also has a positive impact on our friendships and relationships. If we constantly complain about others, it becomes difficult to build trust. Being grateful helps us see the good sides of others, not just their flaws. When we are grateful for what others do for us, our friendships become stronger and we support each other more. This doesn't mean you should simply ignore problems, but rather that gratitude creates a solid foundation for better overcoming difficulties together. Gratitude also makes us braver. When we focus on what we're grateful for, it's easier to overcome setbacks. Challenges then seem less daunting because we remember how much good we already have. If you're feeling down, gratitude can help you think of people or things that give you strength. Being grateful not only helps us feel better, but also helps us stay calm and strong during difficult times. If you complain often, you blame others or circumstances. Gratitude shows you what you can change or appreciate. This allows you to focus on what you can do instead of dwelling on the past. This makes you feel braver and allows you to use the day to do something good. Gratitude also makes us feel rich. When we complain often, we think we're missing something. Being grateful shows us that we already have so many wonderful things in life. When we focus on what we have instead of what we lack, we feel more content. This feeling of "I have enough" makes us stop wanting more and find joy in what we already have. This makes life feel much richer and more beautiful. When you practice being grateful, you learn to discover more and more beautiful things. The more often you think about what you're grateful for, the more you'll notice what's good in your life. This makes it easier to feel joy every day and appreciate what you have. This isn't a simple mental exercise. It changes how you perceive life. This makes every moment more exciting and precious. Gratitude also allows us to grow. When we constantly complain, we often get stuck and only see the negative aspects. But when we are grateful, we can see difficulties as opportunities to learn. When we appreciate everything we experience, we can grow from them, things we often don't notice when we complain. For example, when working on a difficult project, gratitude helps you focus on what you're learning instead of getting frustrated. In stressful times, gratitude calms our minds. When you feel overwhelmed, you can think about the things you're grateful for. These thoughts help you stay calm and be present in the moment. Even if the stress doesn't go away immediately, you'll feel stronger and remind yourself that there's still so much good to be had. Gratitude helps you cope better with stress without letting it overwhelm you. Gratitude is a powerful tool for staying calm, even in difficult times. Gratitude also makes us more humble. That is, we realize how many things we have that we often take for granted. When we appreciate the support and opportunities around us, we understand that not everything happens solely through our own efforts. This humility makes us love life even more and shows us how connected we are to others and the world. Gratitude opens us to this connection and allows us to see the good in everything. When you're grateful, you also want to share good things with others. When you know what you have, you're more likely to give some of it away. By showing your gratitude, you not only do something good for yourself, but you also help others see the beauty in their lives. This creates a wave of kindness that benefits everyone and makes life more beautiful for everyone. Gratitude brings joy into our lives. When we constantly complain, we only think about bad things and feel dissatisfied. But when you learn to be grateful, you feel lighter and happier. Gratitude allows us to enjoy the small, simple moments without waiting for everything to be perfect. This joy happens right now. You don't have to wait for a perfect day to be happy. When you learn to be grateful, you build a life that feels fulfilling and peaceful, even when things don't always work out. Gratitude helps you see the good in life instead of focusing on what's missing. Gratitude helps us enjoy life more, even when things don't always go the way we want. When we are grateful, complaints lose their power, and we develop a mindset that seeks solutions, notices the beautiful things in everyday life, and faces challenges with a courageous and positive heart. When you allow gratitude to grow in your life, you build a life full of peace and meaning. When gratitude is the foundation, we can understand what it means to make sacrifices. Making a sacrifice isn't simply giving something up or enduring something difficult. It's a conscious decision to invest in a happy and fulfilling future. Sometimes a sacrifice feels uncomfortable or difficult at first, but it's really giving up short-term pleasures in order to experience more joy and growth in the long run. When we make sacrifices, we choose a life that focuses on important goals and prepares us for things that will truly move us forward. Sometimes we have to forego small pleasures to make room for something bigger that will truly make us happy. When you choose to make a sacrifice, you show your future self that you believe in yourself. It's often tempting to have something nice right away, a small indulgence that makes us happy now but doesn't necessarily support our big dreams. But when you voluntarily forgo that quick gratification, you can use your time and energy on things that bring you lasting joy and satisfaction. Every small sacrifice you make helps you create a future that truly matters and fulfilling. A future centered on your big dreams, not just brief moments of fun. When you make sacrifices, you show yourself that lasting joy is more important to you than what passes quickly. It's about living a life that aligns with your greatest desires. An example of a sacrifice is reconsidering what comfort actually means. Comfort often feels good, but too much of it can lead to a stagnation of growth. If you only do what is familiar and easy, you miss many opportunities to develop. When you consciously move outside of your familiar surroundings, you make room to learn new things and grow. This might mean giving up some rest to practice a new skill or giving up a new game to save money for something important. Even if it's difficult at first, this sacrifice makes you stronger and shows you that real growth often happens where it's uncomfortable. Short-term difficulties can bring you much more valuable successes in the long run. Sacrifices also help you learn discipline. Discipline means doing what is necessary, even when it isn't easy, and it is important for achieving your big goals. When you learn to forego quick rewards, it becomes easier over time to focus on what really matters. Every decision you make with discipline brings you closer to your dreams, even when things get difficult. It's not about forbidding yourself from doing something, but about giving yourself the freedom to choose what is most important in the long run. Through discipline, you realize that the joy you get from achieving your goals is far greater than any quick fun you could have now. Sacrifices also bring you clarity about your desires and goals. If you only think about quick gratifications, it becomes difficult to know exactly what you really want. But if you learn to prioritize long-term happiness, you'll become clearer about what really matters to you. You'll have a better understanding of what you want and what's not so important. By eliminating distractions, you'll be better able to focus on your goals and stay on track even when things get tough. It's as if you're pushing a fog away from your eyes and suddenly seeing where you really want to go. When you give something up, you also learn patience. This means you wait for something bigger and learn not to want everything right away. This is sometimes difficult, but it helps you stay calm and strong. When you have this patience, you no longer allow yourself to be distracted by small desires, but instead work continuously toward your important goals. You don't chase quick successes, but rather build something step by step that will bring you long-lasting joy. Another benefit of sacrifice is that it builds mental strength. Every time you forego a quick gratification, you train your inner strength to keep going, even in difficult times. Mental strength means not giving up, even when things get difficult. It helps you deal with challenges and uncertainties because you know your path is worth it. When you make sacrifices, you learn to overcome setbacks and keep going to achieve something great. This strength helps you overcome obstacles and achieve your goals, even when the path isn't always easy. Sacrifices also give you the feeling of being in control of your own life. When you consciously decide what you're giving up, you give your life direction. Instead of simply waiting, you make important decisions that will move you forward. This builds your self-confidence and makes you proud of yourself. When you look back on your sacrifices, you can see how much you've already done for your future. By making sacrifices, you demonstrate that you value lasting joy over quick gratification and build a life that aligns with your deepest values. Sometimes we wish everything would work out right away, but true success comes from persevering and not giving up. When you learn to focus on things that matter in the future, rather than just on quick wishes, you create a life of real value. This way, you recognize what truly matters to you. Every small step brings you closer to the life that aligns with your dreams and your inner compass. A life that deeply fulfills you, and not just brings you joy for a short time. If you like these ideas, consider becoming a part of this channel. Not only will you be helping out, but you'll also receive special content. To do so, click the link in the description. Now, let's move on to the topic. When you're willing to give something up, you learn to be grateful. Instead of always looking for the next exciting experience, you discover the value in what you already have. When you consciously give up a comfortable thing, you make room for true gratitude. You realize that true happiness doesn't come from always having more, but from recognizing how precious your current things are. This way, you feel more satisfied and more connected to your goals, and you remind yourself why it's worth letting go of something sometimes. When you decide to give something up, you understand the importance of effort. When you put in the effort instead of taking the easy way out, you develop a positive attitude toward work. You push yourself even when things get difficult, and over time, this attitude becomes a part of you. You realize that if you persevere and put your heart and soul into it, you can achieve great things. And every success feels even more meaningful because you know how much you've given for it. If you're willing to give up something comfortable, it often shows that something else is more important to you. A goal can help you make decisions and focus on what's truly important to you. It becomes like an inner compass that shows you where you want to go. You're no longer so easily distracted, but instead are guided by your goal. This gives meaning to your sacrifices, and you see how strong you are when you stand up for something that means a lot to you. Giving up means creating a life that suits you. It means paying less attention to quantity and more to meaning. Every time you give up something, you take a step toward a future that feels right. A life that reflects who you truly are. With every conscious sacrifice, you strengthen your courage and determination. It's a life that tells not about what you've taken, but about what you've given. And that brings more joy than any quick gratification. When we choose a life that is meaningful and empowers us, something changes within us. We stop constantly seeking praise from others. Instead, a deeper connection with ourselves develops. Many people seek love from others, but when we only hope for validation from others, we often feel empty. True happiness, however, begins within ourselves. When you learn to love yourself, a strong, warm love develops within you, one that doesn't need to be replaced by any friendship or relationship. The path to inner peace begins with liking yourself. Sometimes we believe that only others can make us feel good, but if you accept yourself as you are, you'll discover that you find everything you need within yourself. You can give yourself the care and kindness you otherwise expect from outside. This doesn't mean you have to be alone. It just means you find a strong home within yourself. Then relationships become enriching, but not necessary. An important part of this is being kind to yourself. Many people are kind to others, but harsh on themselves. Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same warmth you would a good friend. You learn to forgive yourself, see your good sides, and be proud of your strengths. Being gentle with yourself helps you keep going even in difficult times, and you realize that you have a strength within you that can sustain you, regardless of others. Being alone can help you get to know yourself better. These quiet moments give you the opportunity to reflect on your desires, thoughts, and dreams without distraction. You understand who you are without the influence of others. This creates a connection to your inner self that gives you a sense of wholeness that no one can replace. Treating yourself well also means setting clear boundaries. If you're always trying to please others, you can quickly lose sight of what's important to you. But if you recognize what you need and what you stand for, you can better protect yourself. This shows yourself that you take your own feelings seriously. These boundaries help you respect yourself, and they allow you to build stronger, more honest connections with others because you're acting from trust and strength, not from insecurity. An important step on the path to true happiness is to stop being so hard on yourself. Many people often only look at what they do wrong and forget what they are good at. This makes you sad and insecure. But if you understand that no one is perfect, not even you, then you can treat yourself more kindly. You are allowed to make mistakes and still be valuable. That doesn't mean you can't improve, but you don't need to feel bad if something doesn't work out. If you stop trying to do everything perfectly all the time, you will become calmer inside and gain more confidence in yourself, regardless of what others think of you. Loving yourself also means being proud of what makes you special. When you recognize what makes you unique, you don't need anyone to tell you you're good enough. You simply know it yourself. This feeling helps you courageously follow your own path and do so in a way that truly suits you. This way you become stronger and live a life that is honest and authentic. Another important part of inner happiness is learning to take good care of yourself, even when it comes to your emotions. Sometimes we wish others would love or understand us, but if you learn to give yourself love and comfort, you won't constantly need someone to do it for you. You'll also feel freer in relationships because you're not looking for something you're missing, but because you're already fulfilled. This doesn't mean you can't accept help, but rather that you can be strong and content on your own. Inner happiness also includes listening to yourself and trusting yourself. If you often ask others what you should do, you may have forgotten that you can make good decisions yourself. But there's more to you than you think. When you start believing in yourself, you can move through life courageously and confidently, even when things get difficult. Then you don't always need the opinions of others, because you know your own inner voice. A good relationship with yourself also develops when you know what's important to you in life. If you're always trying to please others, your life can sometimes feel empty. But when you find something that gives your life meaning, you feel fulfilled, regardless of whether you're alone or not. Your goals and dreams show you the way and help you keep going, even in difficult times. You'll realize that you can accomplish great things even without others. When you stop constantly seeking praise from others, you become freer. Sure, it's nice when someone says, "Well done," but it's even nicer when you feel it yourself. You no longer need anyone to tell you that you're good, because you already know it yourself. This way you can make decisions that truly suit you, not because you want to please someone else, but because you're following your heart. When you love yourself, you grow internally. You become braver and learn more about yourself. Instead of relying solely on others, you discover your own strengths. Then every challenge becomes an opportunity to move forward. Thus, every day becomes a small step toward greater strength and confidence in yourself. When you focus on your own growth, your life becomes exciting and beautiful. It becomes a journey where you learn a lot about yourself. You'll discover what truly brings you joy, regardless of what's happening around you. The joy comes from within and remains, even when the outside world changes. This is a very special gift you're giving yourself. If you choose this path, your view of other people will also change. You will no longer need someone to make you whole, because you already feel complete and valuable in yourself. This will make your relationships more honest and loving, because you will love not out of fear or lack, but out of freedom and joy. And once you've found this inner peace, you might feel the desire to use your own mind. You want to question things and decide for yourself what's right for you. In a world where so many people tell you what to do, that takes courage. But if you dare to follow your own path, you'll discover who you truly are. You don't have to go with the crowd. You can follow your own thoughts and shape your life the way that suits you. Thinking for yourself begins with genuine interest. It's not just about getting answers, but also about asking, why is this so? And does this even suit me? When you're curious, you begin to look more closely. You want to understand what's behind things, and you learn to listen to your own beliefs. Then you don't just live the way others expect you to, but the way that's right for you. It takes a lot of heart to break away from what most people think is right. It often seems easier to just do what everyone else is doing. But real courage means standing up for what you believe in, even if that is different from what many others believe. If you allow this courage to grow within you, you will become more confident in what you think and feel. You will dare to speak your mind without fear of others rejecting you. The more often you are courageous, the stronger you become, and you will realize that you don't need approval from others. If you align your life with what is truly important to you, you will feel how much joy this brings. An important part of thinking for yourself is reflecting on yourself. Many people just live their lives without asking themselves why they do something or what they truly believe. But if you take the time to reflect on your thoughts and feelings, you can figure out what's truly yours and what you've just adopted. This helps you let go of things that don't serve you well and make room for new ideas that are a better fit for you. This way, you'll get to know yourself better and gain a clearer picture of what's important to you in life. Sometimes it's not easy to live according to what feels right to you. Others might not understand why you're doing something differently, or they might even object. But if you embrace such difficult moments, you'll become stronger inside. They show you how important it is to stay true to yourself. And that's exactly what gives you the strength to continue on your own path, even if it isn't always easy. Having your own thoughts sometimes means being alone. Independent people make decisions that not everyone can always understand. But if you stick to your values, you show yourself that you respect yourself. You make it clear that your inner truth is more important to you than what others think of you. That doesn't mean you don't want friendships. It just means you're letting people into your life who like you for who you are. If you feel comfortable on your own, you'll attract friends who truly understand and respect you. When you learn to think for yourself, your imagination also grows stronger. You become open to new ideas and ways of seeing and doing things. You begin to find creative solutions where others might only see problems. Being creative doesn't just mean painting or crafting. It also means courageously trying new things and not being afraid of making mistakes. This way you create a life that suits you and in which you can fully express yourself. And the more you dare to think differently, the more new possibilities you will discover that enrich your life. When you stop simply doing what most people do, you also become friendlier with others. You realize that everyone is different and follows their own path. You learn to listen and understand instead of jumping to conclusions. This creates connections based on genuine respect. You no longer want others to change. You simply want to understand them. This makes friendships deeper and more genuine. When you trust your own thoughts, your self-respect also grows. You become more confident because you know you won't let yourself be pushed around by every opinion. You feel like you're living your life the way that feels right for you. This inner respect makes you strong, even when things get difficult. With this self-respect, you can remain calm even when things don't go as planned. You won't constantly need someone else to feel safe. You'll find your strength within yourself. You can look forward with hope and confidence. And if you're willing to ask questions and learn new things, you'll continue to grow. This way you'll remain open, curious, and constantly develop. Your life will become more colorful and exciting as a result. When you consider what's important to you, you'll discover your own values. Some of the rules you're familiar with from society may not apply to you at all. And when you question them, you'll discover what really matters to you. Then you can make decisions that feel good and right, because they align with your inner self. Living this way feels peaceful because you're no longer torn. Having your own thoughts gives you freedom. When you no longer have to conform, you can shape your life the way you want. You can pursue your interests and do things that inspire you. This freedom shows you that you can enjoy your life, just as you are, without having to force yourself to conform. When you ask yourself whether all the rules really make sense, you stay true to yourself. You don't live differently just for the sake of being different, but rather in a way that speaks to your heart. This makes you strong and allows you to move through life with clarity. When you live this way, your life feels meaningful. You will be courageous even when things get difficult, because you know you are following your own authentic path. When you stop doing only what's expected of you and start thinking for yourself, your life will be full of joy and meaning. You'll no longer follow the path others have chosen for you, but instead follow your own heart. This path will give you happiness, strength, and freedom. And when you follow this path, a very special treasure grows within you: patience. Patience with yourself and with the world. It helps you stay calm and trust in yourself, no matter how long your journey takes. Patience doesn't just mean waiting. It means trusting in life and remaining calm inside while things slowly develop. In a world where everything is supposed to happen quickly, patience is something very special. It helps you to be calm and gives you peace, because you realize that everything that really matters takes time. Change and inner growth don't happen instantly. Many people dream of big goals, but become sad when success doesn't come right away. When you have patience, you allow yourself to learn at your own pace and do things mindfully without rushing. This creates something deep and genuine. Patience can also help you feel better in your everyday life. If you're always trying to be quick, you can easily feel overwhelmed or restless. But when you're patient, you can focus on one thing at a time. You're in the moment and don't immediately think about what's coming next. This not only makes it easier to get your tasks done, it also brings you joy in what you're doing. With patience, you can experience each moment more consciously and don't have to constantly push yourself. When something doesn't work out the way you hoped, patience helps you stay calm. Without patience, you'd quickly give up or become disappointed. But with patience, you can understand that difficulties are only temporary. You learn to deal with these moments and aren't so easily defeated. Every setback becomes an opportunity to keep going. You see that even slow progress is part of growth. This inner calm makes you strong and helps you persevere. When you're patient with yourself, you begin to believe in yourself more. You understand that you need time to learn or change, and that's perfectly fine. This increases your self-confidence. You don't have to accomplish everything right away, and that makes you freer. Over time, you realize you can rely on your inner strength. You don't need quick wins or constant external validation. You simply know that you're on your own path. In friendships or with your family, patience helps you understand others better. If you're impatient, you can easily react unkindly or annoyed. But when you're patient, you give others the time they need, you listen better, and let them be who they are. This shows them that you care. This creates relationships based on trust and kindness. You become someone with whom others feel safe and comfortable. Patience is also a great help when thinking and making decisions. When you rush, you sometimes make decisions without giving them much thought. With patience, you can take your time and consider what's truly good for you. You calmly consider your options and then act with clarity. This doesn't mean you always have to hesitate for a long time. It means you decide with a calm heart. If you're often impatient, you feel a lot of pressure. Everything has to happen quickly, and that makes you tired. But when you practice patience, you can let go. You can breathe deeply and enjoy the moment. You no longer rush from one thing to the next, but learn to appreciate the present. This makes you more relaxed and helps you stay calm even in difficult times. With patience, you can better appreciate even the small successes along your journey. If you only focus on the big goal, you might overlook the many small steps you've already taken. But with patience, you'll realize that every step counts. You can be happy about what you've accomplished, even if it was just a small step. This motivates you and shows you that the journey is just as important as the destination. When you learn to be patient, you also become more humble. Being patient means accepting that things won't always go the way you want them to. It means understanding that life is often slower than you think. This way of thinking helps you let go and not try to control everything. You begin to trust that many things will work themselves out when the time is right. Patience doesn't mean giving up, but rather recognizing that true strength lies in taking life as it comes. This way, you remain calm and feel connected to life. Patience also helps you persevere instead of striving to achieve perfection right away. If you're impatient, you might look for quick fixes or easy ways out, but these often don't last long. Patience shows you that you can only truly make progress through consistent and diligent work. When you're patient, you learn to take things one step at a time, even if it's slow. You understand that lasting success takes time, and that gives you the strength to keep going. Being patient also helps you stay focused on your goal. When you have patience, you stick with what's truly important to you, even if it takes longer. You know what you want to achieve and stick with it. Patience lets you realize that even small steps bring you closer to your dream. This allows you to pursue your path courageously and honestly, even if it's sometimes difficult. Patience also makes you appreciate what you have more. When you're not constantly thinking about what's next, you can enjoy the moment. You notice what's good for you right now and are grateful for it. Patience helps you feel the present moment and rejoice in the little things. It shows you that not only the destination is important, but also the journey there. Gratitude and patience go well together. They make your heart calm and open. When you choose patience, you choose a life where everything doesn't have to happen quickly. You're not looking for haste, but for meaning and depth. Patience helps you move through life with more calm and recognize that every day is precious. It gives you the opportunity to live a fulfilling life where every step counts, no matter how small. Once you've learned to be patient and understand that true development takes time, you can take the next step, living a simpler life. This is called minimalism. It doesn't just mean getting rid of things, but also letting go of everything that doesn't bring good to your life. It's about becoming free and finding inner peace by focusing on what's truly important to you. In a world where you're constantly being asked to buy new things, minimalism shows you another path, having less but feeling more. When you choose simplicity, many things become clearer, and you can live a life that's truly good for you. Minimalism begins with asking yourself what you really need. We often collect things, do certain things, or think the same things over and over again, even though it doesn't help us at all. But because we're used to it, we keep doing it. But minimalism encourages you to take a closer look. Is this object, this habit, or this thought good for me? Or is it just taking up space? When you let go of what is superfluous, you make room for what really matters to you. It's not about forbidding yourself from everything, but about discovering the beauty in simplicity. When you tidy up, not only does your room become calmer, your head also feels lighter, and you can think more clearly and feel better. It often starts with tidying up a room or a house, but the effect goes much further. Having too many things lying around can make you nervous. You can then quickly feel overwhelmed and restless. If you make your environment simpler and tidier, you can concentrate better and calm down. Everything you keep then has a reason. It is no longer just there, but has a fixed place in your life. When your room is calm, you feel calmer inside too. You can relax better, think more easily, and find peace in your home. Fewer things also mean more order in your head. That is an important step towards a simple, happy life. Minimalism also changes your perspective on possessions. Many people think they need more and more to be happy, but if you let go of this thought, you'll notice that joy is often already there, in the things you already have. It's not just about owning little, but about truly appreciating what you do have. You'll realize that happiness isn't found in new things, but in the little things in everyday life. In a warm cup of tea, in a smile, in a beautiful moment with a friend. When you focus on what really matters, you become grateful. And this gratitude makes your heart calm and content. Because true happiness doesn't come from outside, but grows within you. Minimalism can help you shed inner burdens. Just as too many things clutter your room, there are also thoughts or feelings that weigh heavily on your heart. Perhaps you're still angry at someone, often think back to something sad, or worry a lot. These thoughts can make you sad or stressed. Inner minimalism means learning to gradually let go of such thoughts. This might mean forgiving someone, stopping judging yourself too harshly, or letting old problems rest. The more you release internally, the more peace you feel within. Your head becomes clearer and your heart lighter. You can smile more, enjoy the moment, and feel freer. Another part of minimalism is to stop doing everything just to please others. Sometimes we buy things or behave a certain way just so that others will like or admire us. But that doesn't make you happy in the long run. Minimalism helps you discover your own values. What's really important to you? You learn to live according to your own feelings instead of constantly wondering what others think. When you stop trying to be someone you're not, you become free. You realize that your worth doesn't depend on what you have or how you appear. You can simply be yourself, and that's exactly what's right. Minimalism also helps you create a more peaceful day. Many people schedule their time so tightly that there's barely any room for rest. It's not about doing nothing at all, but rather focusing on what really matters to you. When you learn to let go of unnecessary tasks, you'll have more time for what makes you happy. Time with family and friends, your favorite hobby, or simply a few minutes of silence. A calmer daily routine gives you more energy and makes your life more enjoyable and relaxing. When you simplify your life, you become more mindful. That is, you're truly present in what you're doing. Too many things and tasks can distract and confuse you. But when your life is less busy, you're much more able to appreciate the small, beautiful moments, a smile, the morning light, or a walk in the countryside. You're not constantly thinking about tomorrow or yesterday, but completely present in yourself, now. Mindfulness and minimalism go well together because they help you experience your life with open eyes and a grateful heart. Every day becomes precious when you perceive it consciously. Minimalism also shows you that experiences are often more valuable than things. In a world where so much emphasis is placed on possessions, we sometimes forget how precious shared time and fond memories are. It's not the new toy or the fancy phone that truly fulfills you. It's laughing with your friends, an adventure with your family, or an exciting day you'll remember fondly. These experiences enrich your life, and they stay in your heart, even if you don't have anything in your hand. A simple life also helps you better identify your purpose in life. When you're no longer distracted by too many things and tasks, you can focus more on what's truly important to you. Perhaps it's a dream you want to realize or a cause you're passionate about. Minimalism doesn't mean giving something up, but rather making space for what truly fulfills you. This way, with a clear perspective and an open heart, you can do what truly makes you happy. When you live a minimalist lifestyle, you'll also realize that true happiness doesn't come from always wanting more. Many people believe the next new thing will finally make them happy. But true joy comes from appreciating what you already have. People who care about you, a safe home, a beautiful song, or a cozy evening. When you learn to see and love these little things, you don't need so much anymore. Then your heart will calm down, and you'll find a quiet, genuine happiness, without having to constantly buy new things. And finally, minimalism also makes your relationships more beautiful. When you stop trying to impress others, you can focus entirely on the people who matter to you. You listen better, are more honest, and more open. It's no longer about comparing yourself, but about truly understanding each other. Friendships and family become so much more genuine and stronger. You'll notice true closeness and genuine conversations enrich your life than anything new could. When you are honest and loving in your relationships, you not only give others joy, you also receive it in return. Minimalism shows us that it's good to part with things that no longer do us any good. Sometimes we keep things, or even certain feelings, simply because we're used to them or are afraid to let them go. But minimalism helps you realize, when you let go of something, you don't gain less. You gain more space to breathe, to think, and for new things. Letting something go often means freedom. It makes room for things that make you happy and help you move forward. This creates a feeling that you already have enough to be happy. You don't constantly need new things to live a beautiful, meaningful life. True wealth lies in peace, in the clarity of your mind, and in the space you need to grow. Minimalism also means living your life consciously and focusing on what's truly important to you. It means living more simply and not constantly being guided by what others expect. A simple life can be deeply fulfilling because it reminds you that happiness isn't found in things, but in real moments, in feelings, and in special experiences. When you choose minimalism, you choose a life with meaning, a life that feels good and right because you're focusing on what really matters. When you declutter your life, not just your belongings but also your thoughts and feelings, you'll notice that you're more focused on what's going on in your head. Sometimes we think things that make us sad or insecure. These thoughts can slow you down and drain your energy, but you can learn to deal with them better. It's not about simply pushing difficult feelings away. It's about recognizing that you're strong enough to deal with them, calmly and courageously. You can learn to encourage yourself and strengthen your inner peace. An important start is to actually notice when you have negative thoughts. We often think bad things about ourselves without really realizing it, but if you start paying mindful attention to your thoughts, you can make a change. The first step is to recognize when you are thinking something that is not good for you. When you notice this, you can start to change your perspective. Instead of getting down on yourself, you can think, what can I do to make things better? You can look forward to small steps forward and look for solutions instead of letting problems overwhelm you. The Stoic way of life, an ancient way of thinking, can also help you calm down and change your thoughts for the better. Sometimes we think about things that make us sad or anxious. It's helpful to focus on what we can do ourselves. Many negative thoughts come from wanting to change something we can't influence. But if you focus on what you can control, for example, your decisions or your reactions, you'll notice that some things don't bother you as much. This brings peace because you start working with what you have instead of getting angry about things you can't change. Another way to deal with negative thoughts is to first simply notice things without immediately judging them. When you experience something difficult, try not to immediately think, that's bad. Simply observe what's happening. This way, you'll be able to see things more clearly and realize that difficult things are also a part of life. If you remain curious instead of afraid, you'll learn more easily from what you encounter, even if it's unpleasant. It also helps to be grateful. Gratitude means remembering what's good, even when the day isn't so great. If you get into the habit of looking for good things, it will protect you from negative thoughts. Even if problems don't simply disappear, gratitude helps you remember the good things. This makes you stronger and better able to cope with difficult times. Imagine you could paint your thoughts like a picture in your head. When a bad thought comes, try to imagine a happy ending or a way to solve the problem. It's not about ignoring problems, but about believing you can make a difference. When you see yourself acting courageously and wisely, your self-confidence grows. You'll notice that you become braver and more confident in yourself. It's also very important to be kind to yourself. Sometimes we give ourselves a hard time when things aren't going well, but no one is perfect and that's okay. If you speak lovingly to yourself instead of berating yourself, you'll learn better from mistakes and won't give up so easily. Our kind inner voice will help you keep going, even when things go wrong. Some thoughts that make us sad aren't entirely true. They may stem from old memories or from fear of something that hasn't happened yet. If you ask yourself, is this really true? You'll realize that many of these thoughts are just assumptions. This way you'll learn to trust the thoughts that help you and let go of the others. Over time, it becomes easier to let go of bad thoughts. It can also help to look at difficulties differently. If you try to see something you can learn from a problem, it won't feel quite so bad. Every setback can show you how you can grow. This attitude gives you the courage to keep going, knowing that you can become stronger even when things are difficult. Another good exercise is to focus on the present moment. Negative thoughts often arise when we're ruminating about the future or worrying about the past. But if you focus on what's happening right now, you'll become calmer. You'll be able to see things more clearly as they really are. When you learn to feel the moment, you'll find peace and joy right where you are. Instead of just thinking about problems, it helps to look for solutions. When you ask yourself, what can I do? You get the feeling you have control. Even if things are difficult, you can then find a way to move forward with courage and a clear head. This way, you won't be held back by worries but can show how strong you are. It's not about solving everything immediately, but about taking one step at a time. It's also helpful to have good habits. Doing things that are good for you regularly, like exercise, quiet moments for reflection, or time in nature, helps your mind recover. When you do these things often, you become calmer and stronger. They become a part of you and accompany you even when you're stressed. This way, you can support yourself in living a kind and strong life. If you repeatedly learn to recognize negative thoughts and replace them with friendly and courageous ones, your thinking will gradually become stronger and happier. You will notice that you are no longer so easily pushed around by doubts or problems. Instead, you can remain calm and approach each new task with hope. It is not about pretending that difficulties don't exist, but about facing them with strength and a clear perspective. You will realize that setbacks are simply a part of life and do not mean the end. You can learn something from everything you experience that will help you grow. This inner strength gives you security. The more often you practice sorting out your thoughts, the easier it will be for you to discover opportunities in problems and to remain strong when making important decisions. Once you've learned to better control your thoughts and let go of negative ones, it's important to start taking action. Just thinking good thoughts isn't enough. Only when you take action can your dreams come true. When you take action, you're no longer waiting. You're starting to shape your own life. Every step you take brings you a little closer to the life you want. This gives you strength because you're not just watching, you're making a difference. When you take action, an idea becomes something real and you lead your own life step by step. Often the hardest part of taking action is getting started. We all have desires and plans, but sometimes fear, insecurity, or laziness hold us back from getting started. The first step doesn't have to be a big one. It's enough to tell yourself, "I'll give it a try." Once you've made a start, things often become easier. Every step, no matter how small, shows you that you can do it. This creates movement. You show yourself that you can break out of stagnation and shape your life, even if it takes courage at first. To be able to take action, it also helps to set a clear goal. If you know what you want to achieve, it's easier to get started. This gives you a direction to follow. You don't need a precise plan for every day. It's enough to have an idea of where you want to go. This clarity helps you focus on the things that really matter. If you keep your goal in mind, it's easier to make good decisions and keep going, step by step toward the life you want. It's also important that you stick with it. We often start out with a lot of momentum, but real change takes time and perseverance. It's okay if things get difficult at times. What matters is that you keep going. Even small actions every day show that you're not giving up. You become stronger if you don't give up at every obstacle. It's not about doing everything perfectly, but about not giving up. This consistency ensures that you achieve more and more over time because you're developing step by step. Part of taking action is not being afraid to make mistakes. Many people don't do something because they're afraid of failure, but mistakes are part of the learning process. Every mistake moves you forward because you can learn something from it. If you experience a setback, it doesn't mean you failed. It just means you have a new opportunity to do better. When you learn to see mistakes as part of your journey, you become braver. You try more things because you know mistakes help you grow and bring you closer to your goal. When you do something, it's important to think not only about the goal, but also about the path to get there. Of course, we look forward to the result, but it's the many small steps that make you strong. When you enjoy the journey, you realize how much you learn and how wonderful it can be to grow. It's not just about having achieved something at some point, but also about who you become in the process. A person who learns, changes, and improves. This makes the journey itself valuable. A very important part of taking action is taking responsibility. This means recognizing that your decisions are important and influence your life. This is a powerful and beautiful realization. Because when you take responsibility for yourself, you have the power to shape your life. Every decision you make, even the small ones, moves you in a certain direction. When you are aware of this responsibility, you no longer just wait for something to happen. You become the designer of your life. And that gives you courage because you know you can take control of your life and shape it the way you want. An important part of taking action is putting your inner values more important than your desire for comfort. It's often easier to take the easy way out or do whatever feels more comfortable at the time. But when you stick to what's really important to you, you make decisions that reflect who you really are and how you want to live. This is sometimes difficult, especially when the other path seems more tempting. But when you do what's in line with your heart, you live a life of honesty and respect. Every decision reflects what's important to you. And when you act this way, you'll feel that your life has meaning. You'll feel good knowing that you're living the way you believe is right. And courage is also very important if you want to do something. Every step, even a small one, requires bravery. It's completely normal to be afraid of new things. But courage doesn't mean not being afraid. It means moving forward anyway. Every time you try something new, your inner strength grows. Over time, your confidence in yourself grows. You realize, I can do more than I thought. When you take action, you'll also learn to be patient. Big changes take time. Patience helps you stay on track, even if you don't see any results yet. If you believe your efforts are worthwhile, you'll keep going. Being patient means believing that everything grows, even if it happens slowly. This way you learn to stay calm and trust your path. Through your actions, your strength to deal with difficulties also grows. Life sometimes brings difficult times. But if you don't give up, you'll always become stronger. Resilience is the ability to get back up after setbacks. It means you don't give up, but continue on your path. This way, you become braver and believe more in yourself. Every small step shows you, I can do this. When you act, you shape your own life. Everything you do, every decision, every attempt, shapes your path. Leaving a legacy doesn't mean being famous. It means leaving a mark, through your good deeds, through your courage, through your heart. You demonstrate, I live according to my own values. You create a life that suits you, and that gives you a deep sense of meaning. Because every step, no matter how small, is part of something bigger. Most importantly, you must consciously choose a life that fulfills you. It's about turning your thoughts into reality and turning your desires into real actions. When you take action, your life becomes a path that reflects your dreams, your values, and your unique strengths. You'll feel, I shape my life myself, with strength, with love, with purpose. When you begin to live your life consciously, a special thought may accompany you. Life doesn't last forever. That might sound sad at first. But this thought, memento mori, which means remember that you will die one day, shouldn't frighten you. It should remind you that every day is precious. When you know that time is precious, you'll appreciate it even more. You'll see every day as a new opportunity to learn something, to give something, to experience something beautiful. When you know life is short, you think differently about what really matters. Many people spend a lot of time on things that ultimately don't matter to them. But when you realize that time is passing, you'll focus on what you truly love. You'll let go of what distracts you and stick with what fulfills you. This realization brings clarity. You know better what you want and what you don't. You begin to live life more consciously, according to your own dreams, your deepest desires, and this is reflected in your decisions. You do what makes you happy. You devote your time to what matters to you. This thought also helps you live more in the moment. Many people constantly think about tomorrow or yesterday and miss today. When you know that only the present is certain, you learn to enjoy it. You feel more joy in everyday life. You laugh more. You see more beauty. It doesn't mean forgetting the future. It means truly living in the present. When you know that time isn't eternal, you become braver. You're less afraid of making mistakes or doing something wrong. You dare more, because you know, now is the moment. You'll dare to follow your path, even if you don't know everything yet. You'll act from the heart, because you feel life is a gift, and I want to use it well and honestly. When you realize that life doesn't last forever, you'll also become more grateful. You'll begin to see every morning, every kind word, and every moment as something precious. Gratitude becomes a part of your heart. It helps you notice the beauty in everyday life, even in small things like a smile or a ray of sunshine. It makes you happy and content. You'll feel that what matters isn't wealth or fame, but what moves you inside. Gratitude brings you peace, especially when things are difficult. When you consider that our time on earth isn't infinite, you'll feel closer to other people. You'll want to show them how much you appreciate them. You'll forgive more quickly, stay angry less, and savor the moment with them. You'll realize how important it is to put arguments behind you and show more love. Because you know that time together isn't unlimited, you'll want to make beautiful memories with those close to you. This will make your connections with others deeper and more genuine. You'll have fewer regrets because you've lived what really matters. Another important step is letting go of things that don't serve you well. When you understand that your time is valuable, you'll be more willing to let go of sad thoughts, bad habits, or anger. You'll see more clearly that such things drain your energy. When you leave them behind, you open yourself to new things, to joy, hope, and possibilities. Letting go is like a breath of fresh air that makes room for something better. It helps you live more easily and freely. When you reflect on life, you can also ask yourself, what do I want to leave behind? What do I want others to say about me? When you realize that your time is limited, you will think more about what is truly important to you. Your legacy has nothing to do with fame. It's about forging your own path, with honesty, compassion, and true to your inner values. Every kind word, every good deed, every courageous step becomes part of your impact on this world. This creates a life that leaves a mark, not only in the world but also in the hearts of others. This thought helps you make more meaningful decisions and shows you how valuable your actions can be to others. Life is not forever, and that is what makes it special. Understanding that life doesn't last forever helps you become strong. You're less likely to be thrown off course by difficult moments. Problems or sad times then feel more like a short break. They'll pass. This knowledge gives you peace. It shows you that nothing, not even the worst moments, lasts forever, and that gives you strength. You learn to go through good times and difficult times with an open heart. You also begin to have more confidence. Many people keep their dreams or thoughts to themselves because they're afraid of being laughed at or not understood. But when you sense that time is short, you become braver. You show who you are and what's important to you. Not because you want applause, but because you want to live honestly. When you express yourself, you grow and learn a lot about yourself. Another beautiful thought is the inner peace you find when you accept life as it is. When you know that time on earth is limited, you'll fret less about little things. You'll learn to be more relaxed. You'll realize that many worries aren't that important. Instead of getting upset, you'll enjoy quiet moments and be fully present in what's happening. This calmness doesn't come from giving up. It comes from knowing that everything changes, and you grow with these changes. Your dreams, too, will gain new momentum. Many people wait for the perfect moment to start something. But when you realize that life can pass quickly, you understand, now is the right moment. Every day is an opportunity to take a step toward your dreams. Even small steps bring you closer to your goal. You don't have to accomplish everything at once. What matters is that you begin and walk the path with joy. This makes your life vibrant and fulfilling. Humility is another gift you receive when you understand the finiteness of life. You see that you are part of something bigger. You realize that happiness is often found in small, simple moments, in a conversation, a glance, a laugh. You begin to see each day as special. You appreciate the opportunities to learn, to love, and to be close to others. Humility isn't about feeling small, but about experiencing life with an open heart and gratitude. Knowing that life is ending is no reason to be afraid. On the contrary, it helps you live more alertly and consciously. Every day becomes an opportunity to make life richer and more authentic. You discover what is truly important to you. You live more courageously, lovingly, and attentively. When you accept this truth, you will live life with open eyes and a clear heart. When you accept that nothing lasts forever, you'll also better recognize what's important to you. Sometimes other people might not understand you. They say things about you that aren't true. That can hurt. But the philosophy of the Stoics can help. It shows you how to stay calm and not let other people's opinions unsettle you. You learn to stay true to yourself, to what you know is right. This strengthens your self-confidence. You become more stable and less susceptible to insecurity. One of the most important messages of the Stoics is, You can't change what others think or say about you, but you can decide how much you let it affect you. If you focus on your own values and what's important to you in your heart, you don't need constant praise from outside. That doesn't mean you shouldn't hear criticism, but you know that you determine your own worth. When you respect yourself, harsh words lose their power. You become strong inside, and that's something very special. It can sometimes be difficult to detach yourself from what others think of you. Maybe you want to do something differently, but you can't manage it, and you don't really know why. Often there's a fear behind it, quietly creeping into your heart. You don't notice this fear right away, but it influences how you feel. It can prevent you from being brave and make you sad, but you can learn to deal with this fear. If you study the knowledge of the ancient Stoics and modern psychologists, you'll find helpful thoughts. These can help you free yourself internally, almost as if you were drinking a healing potion that gives you new strength and confidence. The Stoics also talk about the importance of being humble. This doesn't mean feeling small. It means you know what you're capable of without constantly having to prove it. When you're humble, you appear quiet but strong. This strength isn't loud, it's evident in your behavior. You don't need praise to feel good about yourself because you feel your worth from within. Others notice this and respect you for it. This also protects you from opinions that might otherwise hurt you. Patience is often required when someone underestimates you or doesn't take you seriously. You may want to say something or defend yourself immediately, but the Stoics believe it's better to stay calm and, over time, reveal who you really are. Your actions will prove what you're capable of. Patience doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting that the truth about you will emerge if you persist. If someone criticizes you, you can choose not to let it get you down. Instead of feeling sad, you can use the energy to develop yourself further. Mistakes or mean comments can even help you become better. When you work on yourself and pursue your goals, you'll notice that your actions speak louder than other people's opinions. You're growing, and that shows others that you know your own worth without anyone having to tell you otherwise. When others say mean things, you can learn to remain calm inside. This calmness shows that you are strong. The Stoics say, those who remain calm are courageous, because it's not easy to remain calm when you're hurt. But if you manage not to react to every word, others will realize that their opinions don't influence you. Forgiveness is also part of it. If you stay angry for a long time, you suffer the most. Forgiveness doesn't mean you think everything that happened is okay, but you let go, and that frees you. When you forgive people, you show that you are stronger than what they did to you. You don't need revenge because you are free inside. This gives you peace and shows how strong you truly are. Another important idea is to respect yourself. This means believing in yourself, even if others might not. When you know your worth, you don't need constant praise. You become more confident, and others realize they can't hurt you as easily. Your self-respect is like an invisible shield. If someone repeatedly mistreats you, you can set boundaries. This means you calmly and clearly state what you don't want. You don't do this to start an argument, but to protect yourself. Boundaries help you avoid being belittled. They show that you deserve respect. Sometimes it helps to remain friendly, even when others aren't. Many people who are mean have problems of their own. Maybe they're sad or angry without knowing why. When you recognize this, you can offer compassion instead of ranting back. Your calm demeanor will surprise them and often make them think. When you know what's truly important to you, you become less dependent on the opinions of others. Having a goal in life gives you direction. Then you don't need constant validation because you're going your own way. This makes you internally strong. You know what you're living for, and that's much more important than what others think. Being grateful also helps you stay calm. Even if others don't see or appreciate you, you can focus on the good things in your life, on your strengths, on beautiful memories, on things that make you happy. Gratitude opens your heart and lets you realize that you are much more than what others think. Nothing in life lasts forever, not even the bad words someone has said. Everything changes every day. When you understand this, many things become easier. You don't have to react to every judgment because it will pass like a cloud in the sky. This knowledge gives you peace and helps you become more relaxed. When you know yourself well, you become strong from within. You know what you're capable of, what you need and what you want. Then others can say whatever they want. You remain yourself. This self-knowledge sets you free. And that's exactly what Stoicism shows you. You can live a life based on inner strength and self-belief, regardless of what others say. If you adhere to these ideas, you will no longer be unsettled by the negative opinions of others. You will demonstrate with quiet strength that you are not easily discouraged. This attitude will help you learn something from everything and continue to grow, giving your life more depth and peace. If you learn to detach yourself from the judgments of others, you can discover new insights that will show you the path to a truly fulfilling life. The ideas of the Stoics give you good clues on how to find what truly makes you happy, not what disappears quickly, but what fulfills and strengthens you in the long term. Living a special life means fully embracing what life brings you, with clarity, determination, and a strong soul. Stoic thought isn't about chasing every wish, but rather about finding what brings you true joy and happiness. The path to a special life begins with inner order. This means learning to manage your desires, feelings, and reactions well. Stoicism says that true freedom comes from making decisions that are in line with your heart, and not just because others want something from you. This inner order helps you act consciously and choose your path, not just react to what's happening around you. This calm strength gives you stability, even when things get difficult. Living a meaningful life also means knowing what you are here for. If you don't have a clear purpose, it's easy to get lost in unimportant things. The Stoics' ideas invite you to explore why you are here, what you want to give, and what matters most to you. Your purpose acts like an inner guide, helping you make good decisions and do things that fit into your greater plan. Every day becomes an opportunity to move closer to your purpose, and you live in harmony with how you truly feel. This isn't about stubbornly clinging to something, but rather about staying true to your inner self, even when things get difficult. A key to achieving what's important to you is inner peace. Stoic philosophy shows that peace doesn't mean avoiding problems. It means being strong enough to remain calm, even in difficult moments. If you learn to calm your mind and remain still during such times, you can shape your life so that difficulties don't immediately throw you off balance. Inner peace doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means having the strength to overcome them courageously. This peace forms the foundation upon which you can move forward without being held back by small obstacles. Gratitude is also an important part of a fulfilling life. Many people often think about what they lack and feel sad as a result. But the Stoic perspective shows the value of seeing what we already have. Instead of always wanting more, you can learn to enjoy the moment and take pleasure in the little things. This gratitude will help you feel content and experience your life as rich. When you recognize everything you already have, you'll realize that you don't have to constantly search for something. You already have everything you need to be happy within you. The ability to bounce back after difficult times is called inner strength, or resilience. Stoicism shows that resilience doesn't mean avoiding problems. It means growing from them and becoming braver. When you're strong, you don't give up when things go wrong. You see every difficulty as an opportunity to learn new things and become stronger. This attitude gives you the strength to keep going, even when things get tough. You then know, I can handle anything that comes my way. A life built on honesty and being true to yourself is equally important. When your actions match your beliefs, you live a life of sincerity. Sincerity means doing the right thing, even when no one sees it. It reminds you that true success isn't just about achieving something, but also about acting in a way you can be proud of. When you're honest with yourself, others trust you because they see that you keep your word. Even if it's not easy at times to stay honest and clear, it brings you a lot: trust, self-worth, and real relationships. Stoic teachings also speak of courage. If you want to live a fulfilling life, you sometimes have to dare to take new paths. It means facing your fears and moving forward, even when you don't know exactly what will happen. Courage helps you follow your dreams, even when you have doubts. When you are courageous, you don't see challenges as obstacles, but as opportunities to develop further. With every courageous step, your self-confidence grows and you feel, I can take control of my life and achieve my goals. Another important key to a wonderful life is perseverance. In a world where many people expect instant success, Stoic wisdom shows us that true growth takes time. Perseverance gives you the strength to remain calm and keep going, even when the path feels longer than you hoped. It gives you the ability to persist, even when progress is slow. This quality strengthens your inner peace and helps you better cope with the ups and downs of everyday life. When you develop perseverance, you will understand that it is not just the destination that matters, but also the path you take to get there. A fulfilling life also means never ceasing to discover. The teachings of the Stoics awaken your curiosity and show you the joy of constantly learning. If you see every day as an opportunity to understand something new, you will constantly improve and learn more about the world. This joy of learning makes your life colorful and exciting because there are always new things to discover. Every new insight and every new piece of knowledge brings more depth to your life and makes your experiences more diverse and exciting. Another important Stoic principle is letting go of the urge to control everything. While goals give you direction, Stoicism teaches that your happiness shouldn't depend on achieving a specific outcome. Letting go means pursuing your desires without constantly worrying about whether you'll achieve it in the end. This attitude helps you enjoy the journey itself instead of focusing solely on the end goal. You give your best and focus on what's within your control without worrying too much about how it will turn out. This allows you to be more relaxed and free, knowing that true success also lies in the effort you put in. Knowing yourself is another valuable part of living a special life. When you understand who you really are, what you're good at, what matters to you, and what you want to achieve, you have a solid foundation for your path. Self-knowledge helps you make decisions that are good for you and empower you. Your life then feels meaningful and clear. It also helps you find goals that truly suit you, rather than chasing after things that aren't important to you. When you get to know yourself better, you grow internally and develop further step by step. Another important Stoic principle is letting go of things that burden you. We often hold on to memories, dashed hopes, difficult relationships, or things that don't make us happy. Stoic philosophy shows you that letting go of these things gives you new freedom. When you leave behind old things that no longer serve you, you make room for things that are truly good for you. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on something, but rather making room for what truly matters. This ability brings you inner peace and helps you live your life more clearly and easily. Living a special life also means acting from the heart. Stoic wisdom reminds us that we are all connected, even if our paths look different. When you approach others with kindness and openness, you build a life that brings joy not only to you, but also to others. Compassion doesn't weaken you, it makes you stronger because it shows you that everyone struggles with their own struggles. It helps you forge genuine connections and makes your journey through life more valuable to yourself and others. If you follow Stoic thought, you can live a particularly profound life. A life full of clarity, strength, and inner happiness. Every single thought brings you closer to what truly matters to you. It's not about quick success, but about a life that feels complete and true. When you learn to control yourself, be courageous, act honestly, and remain grateful, you build a life that is beautiful, not by chance, but because you consciously chose it. This way, you live a life that reflects who you truly are and what matters to you. Now that you've learned some Stoic thoughts for a meaningful life, it's time to discover ways to stay calm and balanced within. In a world full of noise and hustle and bustle, keeping a steady head is especially valuable. Stoicism helps you calm your mind so you can better handle challenges and focus more easily. A calm mind doesn't mean everything is easy. It means you can respond with clarity, strength, and peace, even in difficult times. These exercises will not only help you find inner peace, but also better cope with life's ups and downs. This will make everything you experience more precious and fulfilling. A good way to calm your mind is to mindfully observe your thoughts. Thoughts arise and disappear, Sometimes they are loud and restless, sometimes quiet and gentle, and they influence how we feel. When you learn to observe your thoughts without immediately reacting to them, you regain control of your mind. You can recognize negative or anxious thoughts and let them go instead of holding on to them. When you take the time to observe your thoughts, a small distance is created between what you think and what you do. This allows you to act with calm and clarity instead of being guided by fear or anger. A central idea in Stoicism is to focus your attention on what you can truly influence. Much unrest arises because we want to change things beyond our control, like the behavior of others, unexpected events, or the passage of time. Stoicism teaches that it is wise to direct your energy where you can actually make a difference, your own thoughts, feelings, and decisions. When you think this way, you become calmer and feel more powerful at the same time. You recognize that some things are beyond your control and don't have to constantly try to control everything. Instead, you can work on developing yourself, taking responsibility, and acting wisely within your sphere of influence. When you stop trying to change the unchangeable, your mind becomes freer, clearer, and lighter. It feels like you are laying down a heavy burden and realizing that you can consciously shape your life through your attitude. Reflecting on yourself daily is a helpful way to find inner peace. If you take a few quiet minutes each day to reflect silently on what you have thought, done, and experienced, it will help you better understand your feelings. This quiet time brings order to your inner self and gives you clarity. This way, you get a clear view of what happened without being confused by strong emotions or hasty judgments. You recognize how your day went, discover connections, and can learn something from them. It's as if you pause for a moment in the midst of the hustle and bustle of everyday life, take a deep breath, and sort everything out. If you do this regularly, you will live more consciously and fill your days with more meaning. It becomes easier to recognize what is important and not be distracted by too many thoughts. Choosing to live simply is a powerful Stoic exercise for finding inner peace. In a world that often demands more and more possessions, more impressions, more successes, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. This constant striving leaves our heads full of desires and our hearts sometimes empty. But if you consciously choose to live more simply, you can declutter inside and create more clarity in your space. That doesn't mean you're no longer allowed to have goals. It means focusing on what gives your life real value. When you declutter your environment, avoid unnecessary tasks, and let go of emotional baggage, you have more energy for what's truly important to you. Every moment becomes an opportunity to stay with yourself instead of being distracted by too many things. Simplicity means choosing mindfully, whether in your daily schedule or in letting go of things that no longer serve you well. This creates a calm place within you where clarity and peace can grow. Feeling grateful is a wonderful tool for remaining calm and content. When we constantly focus on what we lack or what we wish was different, our inner selves often become restless. Unfulfilled wishes and disappointments make us feel heavy. But when you begin to reflect on the good that is already there, your perspective changes. Gratitude shows you how precious even the small things in everyday life can be. A smile, a ray of sunshine, a kind word. When you are regularly grateful, an attitude grows within you that recognizes the beautiful, no matter how big or small. Gratitude connects you with what is truly good for you and brings you joy even in simple moments. It doesn't mean that everything is always easy, but it shows you that there is much good in your life despite difficult times. This way you become stronger inside and find more peace because you realize that you can discover something valuable in the now, even on darker days. Silence is a quiet treasure that can help you calm your mind. Our world is often full of noise, from devices, appointments, and racing thoughts. In the midst of all this, it can be very valuable to consciously retreat into silence. When you take time to be still, you give your mind a break from all the noises and ideas that occupy you. In this peace, you can reconnect with yourself and think clearly. You hear your own inner voice better and understand your feelings more easily. In such quiet moments, you can gather strength, reflect, and find new clarity. Silence is not empty. It is filled with possibility. It creates a space in which your thoughts can organize and your heart can find peace. In this silence, new ideas can emerge that are often lost in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Learning to accept is another important way to remain calm inside. A lot of unrest arises when we fight against things we cannot change. Maybe it's difficult situations, strong emotions, or events that turn out differently than we hoped. When we resist what is happening, we often make life more difficult for ourselves. Acceptance doesn't mean that you have to approve of everything or give up. Rather, it means accepting things as they are, without constantly wanting to change them. When you let go of what cannot be changed, you free yourself from unnecessary inner pressure. This attitude helps you channel your energy into how you can best deal with them. You learn to go with the flow of life instead of constantly resisting it. This way, you can remain calm and open even in difficult times and grow from them, day after day. Living in the moment is one of the most beautiful ways to find inner peace. Many thoughts revolve around what might still happen or things that have already passed. Our minds jump back and forth, from worries about tomorrow to memories of yesterday. Stoicism shows us the importance of fully experiencing the present moment. When you focus your attention on what is happening right now, your heart becomes lighter. Every moment becomes a gift that you can truly feel without being carried along by time. Living in the present means being free from the chains of the past and the fears of the future. This allows you to see clearly what lies ahead and connect fully with life. The present moment is the only thing that is truly yours. When you learn to appreciate it, you will find peace and joy that no one can take away from you. With these Stoic exercises, you will strengthen your mind, making it calm and powerful. This will enable you to face challenges with clarity and determination. Each of these exercises will support you in finding inner peace and understanding that true serenity doesn't mean avoiding life, but rather facing it with calm and self-control. Stoicism shows us how to courageously embrace life's unexpected events and develop a clear mind that can endure even difficult times. This calm is not a quick escape, but a deep, lasting way of living that helps you move through life openly and peacefully. With a calm and focused mind, you can next learn to identify your most important goals and use each moment meaningfully. The Stoics remind us that time is the most precious thing we have. It passes quickly and is irretrievable. To live a fulfilling life, we must let go of distractions, live intentionally, and focus on what matters most. The Stoic path shows you how to direct your energy toward what truly matters, and that every action reflects your values and purpose. By keeping this in mind, you'll stay focused and live a life driven not by short-term disruptions, but by deep, genuine intentions. The first important rule for setting your priorities is to be clear about what is truly important to you. Many people simply go with the flow of what is happening without knowing what is important to them in life. They often chase after small desires or distractions and forget to consider what they really want. Stoicism helps us look deep within ourselves and recognize our true values and goals. When you know your priorities, you know where your energy belongs. This way, you don't get distracted by unimportant things and focus on what truly makes you happy. When you pay attention to what is important to you every day, your life becomes a journey that leads you to your greatest dreams. Another important rule is to reduce distractions. Today, there are many things that constantly distract our attention. Messages on our phones, news alerts, or numerous small tasks that hold us back. The Stoics show us the value of concentrating on one thing at a time. If you are fully focused on a task and not distracted by external noises or interruptions, you can accomplish much more. To avoid distractions, you need self-control. This means consciously refraining from things that don't help you progress. This creates space to focus on what's truly important and avoid wasting time on brief distractions. Self-discipline is also very important. Discipline doesn't mean not having fun, but learning to make choices that will help you in the long run. The Stoics believe that self-control is the key to achieving what we truly want. It helps you resist temptations that derail you. You practice self-discipline every day by choosing things that move you closer to your goals, rather than quick pleasures that pass quickly. Whenever you choose discipline, you remind yourself that true freedom lies in consciously choosing your path and not simply following short-term desires. Another important rule is to keep going, even if your big goal seems far away. Many people give up because they think the goal is too difficult or the path too long. Stoicism teaches us that even small steps are valuable. It's not about being perfect, but about moving forward every day and staying active. Every small step brings you closer to your goal. This attitude helps you remain patient and value the journey as much as the goal itself. Every step forward is important and makes your dreams tangible and achievable. It's also important to live with a sense of urgency and understand that our time is limited. The Stoics remind us that every day is an opportunity to move closer to our goals. Living with urgency doesn't mean rushing, but rather valuing time and using it wisely. When you live with urgency, you're less distracted by unnecessary things, and you make the decisions that truly matter to you. This conscious use of time brings life to life and moves you further along your path every day. Living with urgency helps you seize the moment and understand that now is the right time to act. Another important Stoic rule is to develop resilience. Difficulties will always arise on the path to your goals, but resilience helps you keep going even when things get tough. Resilience doesn't mean not having problems, but rather staying strong and responding flexibly. The Stoics show us that challenges are a part of life and don't have to be seen as obstacles. With resilience, you can get through difficult times and stay true to your goal, no matter what. The Stoics also say that it's better to pursue a meaningful purpose than to simply seek quick pleasures. Many distractions arise because we allow ourselves to be seduced by small pleasures that don't really get us anywhere. When you choose a higher purpose, you focus on things that bring you closer to your goals, instead of being sidetracked by quick distractions. This doesn't mean you're not allowed to have joy, but rather that you find joy in things that truly strengthen you. A purposeful life makes your life deep and fulfilling and shows you that true happiness lies in doing what really matters to you, rather than just chasing quick moments. Another important point is to regularly reflect on your progress. Taking time to consider how far you've come will help you continue on your path. You'll recognize what's going well and where you can work harder. This reflection will give you clarity and a reason to be proud of what you've accomplished. Being aware of how much you've already achieved will keep you motivated and help you continually improve. This will keep you focused and ensure that every day brings you a step closer to your goal. If you live these Stoic principles, you will live a life where you truly value your time and your path. Each of these principles will help you focus on what matters most and use every moment wisely, making your life journey fulfilling and meaningful. When you know exactly what's important to you, you'll move through life with clarity and purpose, always moving forward, unfazed by minor disruptions. Once you have your goals firmly in mind and are determined to use every moment consciously, the next step is to control your mind. Stoicism shows us that a calm and balanced mind is a powerful tool for overcoming life's challenges. Everyone feels emotions, but without caution, they can overwhelm you and make clear thinking difficult. Controlling your mind doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but rather understanding them and directing them so that they support you rather than hold you back. The Stoics teach you to remain calm and clear, no matter what is happening around you. An important part of this is being able to notice your feelings without reacting immediately. Feelings can be fast and strong, and acting immediately could go against your values. Simply observing your feelings without taking immediate action gives you a moment to consider how best to respond. This short exercise gives you control over your feelings and shows you that while you have feelings, they don't have to determine how you behave. This allows you to approach life calmly and consciously decide how you want to react. Another important principle is letting go. Sometimes we feel burdened because we cling too tightly to people, things, or outcomes. Stoicism teaches us to detach ourselves from what we cannot control and instead focus on what is within our control, our thoughts and actions. Letting go doesn't mean that we don't care about what happens, but rather that we stop trying to control things that are beyond our reach. This makes us feel less anxious and more able to face challenges with more composure. When we let go, we make room for a strong and flexible mind that is ready to accept whatever comes our way. Another important rule of Stoicism is to trust reason more than quick emotions. Sometimes strong emotions make problems seem much bigger or worse than they really are. Stoics recommend always using your reason and calmly examining situations. When you approach problems with a clear mind, you'll better see reality, not just what your feelings tell you. This helps you act thoughtfully and make decisions that align with your values. Your reason gives you security because you know you're acting correctly and not just reacting based on your feelings. Another wise principle from Stoicism is to accept the transience of life. Many of our feelings arise because we resist change or cling to things that won't last. Whether it's saying goodbye to someone, the end of a good time, or changes in life, it's all part of it. When you accept that nothing lasts forever, you'll be better able to deal with joy and sadness without clinging too tightly to the past. This acceptance doesn't mean you have to simply accept bad things, but rather understand that life is made up of many moments, each special and only for a short time. When you don't fight these changes, you can stay with the flow of life and experience the different phases with calm and mindfulness. Instead of being afraid of the inevitable, you learn to live each moment intentionally, appreciate what is there, and see each experience as part of your journey. Practicing gratitude is a wonderful exercise for better directing your emotions. When you are grateful, you change your perspective on life because you pay more attention to what you already have rather than just what you lack. Especially in difficult times, it can be easy to feel like you're missing something or are dissatisfied. But when you learn to be grateful, you find the good in every moment, even in the little things. When you focus on the positive things in your life, like a great friendship, a wonderful opportunity, or a quiet moment, you strengthen your spirit and are less likely to be swept away by bad feelings. Gratitude helps you keep a clear perspective and reminds you that there is always something to be grateful for. This way, you find peace in the now, without always looking for something new. Being grateful doesn't mean you don't see the problems, but rather that you acknowledge the good sides of life, even when it's difficult. If you practice gratitude every day, you will find stability and be able to live your life with more peace and joy. Stoicism also places great emphasis on self-examination. If you take the time to reflect on your thoughts, feelings, and behavior, you can learn a lot about yourself. This self-observation helps you understand why you sometimes react a certain way, or which habits keep repeating themselves. Self-reflection isn't about feeling bad, but about gaining clarity. If you regularly reflect on what you've experienced, you'll recognize when you may have acted too quickly or let your emotions influence you. This knowledge helps you make wiser decisions and avoid acting on impulse. Self-reflection is like a mirror for your soul. It shows you who you really are, what's important to you, and where you can grow. This practice makes you stronger in dealing with feelings because you understand them better and can act more calmly. If you regularly take time for this, you'll live with more clarity and intention, and your decisions will be conscious rather than spontaneous. If you apply these Stoic rules to your life, you will be able to understand and guide your emotions and mind better and better. Each principle will help you gain more peace, strength, and clarity, allowing you to handle both the good and the difficult times with serenity. Instead of being overwhelmed by your emotions, you will learn to control them and respond to everything calmly and purposefully. You will live with a clear mind and strong self-confidence that is not dependent on the opinions of others or external factors. If you continue on this path, you will realize that your emotions no longer control you. Instead, you are in control of them. This way, you will remain calm, courageous, and determined in every moment. In addition to the well-known Stoic principles, there is another important yet often underestimated method, the art of silence. Silence doesn't just mean being quiet. It's a special skill that allows you to better control your emotions. Especially when you're dealing with criticism, arguments, or provocations, silence can be a very powerful response. It doesn't show weakness or fear, but rather that you are in control of your reactions. When you remain silent, you give yourself time to organize your thoughts and decide what you want to say or do before you react. This allows you to act calmly and clearly without being carried away by your emotions. In Stoicism, silence is considered a sign of inner strength. It shows that your inner peace is not easily disturbed. It means that you are acting wisely and thoughtfully. An important part of remaining silent is understanding the importance of restraint. Often, we want to respond immediately, to defend ourselves, explain, or vent our anger. But Stoicism teaches that it is often far wiser to remain silent. By holding back and not speaking immediately, you retain control of the situation and can determine when and how you want to intervene. This restraint shows others that you are remaining calm and helps them rethink their own behavior. When you choose silence, you demonstrate that your inner peace is established and that nothing easily upsets you. Another important point about silence is to think carefully about when and what you say. When you speak, do so thoughtfully and intentionally. Silence gives you time to reflect on what's truly important and what you really want to communicate. This makes your words stronger and more meaningful because they aren't spoken quickly or thoughtlessly. People listen better when they know your words are well chosen. Silence makes your words valuable because they are considered and not impulsive. Silence also gives others a chance to reveal themselves. When you don't respond immediately, others can better express their thoughts. Often you learn more about their intentions this way because they have more space to find their own words. This silent observation helps you better understand the situation without immediately pushing yourself to the forefront. Instead of speaking immediately, you can listen and see, which helps you gain more clarity before you react. Another benefit of silence is that it helps you organize your own feelings. If you're in a difficult or highly emotional situation, silence gives you time to reflect before you act. You can then consider your response and decide how best to react without being impulsive. Silence helps you maintain your inner calm, allowing you to respond thoughtfully and clearly rather than being overwhelmed by emotions. This ability not only protects your own balance, but often also causes others to reconsider their behavior and words. One important reason silence is so important in Stoicism is that it helps you overlook small arguments. Often conflicts arise from small things, misunderstandings, careless words, or minor disagreements. If you choose not to engage, these arguments often quickly become less important. Your silence clearly shows that you don't want to waste your energy on such things and lets others know that their attempt to start an argument isn't resonating with you. This silence doesn't mean you don't care or are indifferent. Rather, it shows that your inner peace is important to you. When others try to draw you into their arguments, your silence often acts as a mirror, showing them that their behavior is wrong. You'll soon realize that the words or actions of others can't easily influence you, and this knowledge alone is often enough to ease the tension. Choosing silence creates a quiet strength, an inner sense of security that shows you're not fazed by minor provocations. Silence also helps you conserve your energy. Joining in every discussion or argument can be exhausting and often causes unnecessary stress without really resolving anything. By practicing silence, you conserve your mental and emotional strength and can use it for the things that really matter to you, like your goals and values. By utilizing this wise way of allocating your energy, you'll also learn that not every situation is worth engaging with. Every time you remain silent, you strengthen your focus and clear your mind to do what brings meaning and joy to your life. Silence thus becomes a sign of your inner strength, a quiet security that goes without words. Practicing silence also builds your self-esteem. When you resist the impulse to respond to provocations or insults, you demonstrate that your inner peace and dignity are more important to you than the opinions of others. This self-respect sets a clear boundary, a silent but strong signal that you will not allow external words or actions to disturb your inner peace. Silence thus becomes an expression of your self-respect, a reminder that you adhere to a high standard of dignity and decency, and that you will not allow yourself to be drawn into unnecessary conflict. This attitude often impresses others and causes them to question their own behavior. They recognize that your silence is not a weakness, but a sign of self-confidence and inner strength. a strength that is not shaken by the words or opinions of others. Choosing to remain silent also helps you learn patience, especially when you feel tempted to respond immediately. Silence teaches you to be patient and wait, allowing the true meaning of situations and intentions to reveal themselves. This patience gives you the opportunity to step back and see things more clearly without jumping to judgment. When you wait before reacting, you often discover things you would have missed had you acted immediately. This broader perspective helps you respond more calmly and thoughtfully, knowing that quick reactions often arise from limited or emotionally charged perspectives. When you practice this patience, others notice and understand that your silence doesn't mean you're not interested, but rather that you're thinking deeply. This ability to wait and pay attention demonstrates a calm, controlled presence that considers its actions carefully and doesn't act hastily. Another great benefit of silence in Stoicism is how it builds your confidence in yourself. When you choose to remain silent rather than react immediately, you prove to yourself that you can control your impulses, that you don't have to simply give in to your feelings or urges. This ability to pause before speaking or acting builds your confidence. Each time you resist the urge to act impulsively, you affirm your ability to control yourself and build a firm trust in yourself. So over time, this trust grows, and you will be able to handle any challenge or argument calmly and confidently. The silence in Stoicism gives you the strength to face the world with quiet strength, knowing that you can always maintain your inner calm. Every moment of silence builds this confidence and reminds you that you are in control of your reactions, and your serenity is a sign of your inner wisdom. When you consciously practice silence, an aura of mystery and power develops around you. If you don't immediately explain everything with words, others become curious and wonder what lies behind your quiet strength. This feeling of mystery can be very impressive and causes people to pause and reflect on their own words or actions. When you hold back and don't respond immediately, you give others the opportunity to reflect on the power of your silence. This often causes them to act more carefully and thoughtfully. This quiet power shows that true strength doesn't have to be loud or flashy. It comes from within and stays, no matter what happens. In this way, silence becomes a profound and powerful tool that helps others perceive you in a whole new way. When you practice Stoic silence, you shape your life with peace, wisdom, and inner strength. Silence, when used wisely, is a powerful tool for personal growth. It helps you conserve your energy, protect your honesty, and let your character speak for itself. Silence doesn't mean running away from problems or withdrawing from the world. It means knowing exactly when your voice is truly needed and when you can simply remain quiet. Thus, the silence of the Stoics becomes a sign of self-mastery and a way to move through life with calm, clarity, and inner strength. Now that you understand the value and power of silence, you may be wondering how Stoicism can bring you joy and enthusiasm even in difficult times. Everyone experiences moments when everything seems difficult, when you are tired and discouraged, and the challenges seem overwhelming. In such times, Stoicism offers a way to find new strength and joy, even when things are not easy. Stoicism is not just a philosophy of accepting things, it contains profound teachings that help us discover true happiness in life. Even when everything is against us, Stoicism gives us tools to find deeper meaning and to enjoy life despite difficulties. One of the most important Stoic exercises for building enthusiasm is gratitude. When life seems difficult or overwhelming, gratitude has the power to shift our perspective. It helps us focus not only on what's missing, but also on all the good that's already there. Gratitude reminds us of the simple, precious things we often overlook. It shows us how to find joy in small moments and brings light into our lives, even when everything seems dark. It's not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about focusing on what we have right now. Gratitude brings an inner sense of contentment and peace, no matter our external circumstances. When you're grateful, your joy grows because you appreciate what you have instead of waiting for something else to happen. This practice connects you to the richness of the present moment and creates a deep sense of happiness within you. Another important Stoicism tip for keeping your enthusiasm alive is to focus on the present moment. Often, our thoughts are on the past or the future. We brood over what has already happened or worry about what is yet to come. But the Stoics say that true happiness lies in living in the moment and being completely in the here and now. When we focus on what is happening right now, thoughts of the past and fears of the future lose their power over us. We become more open to everything each moment can offer us. When you fully immerse yourself in the present, you realize that the best experiences lie not in the past or the future, but right here and now. Each day thus becomes an opportunity to discover new things, to learn, and to enjoy life in all its beauty. By embracing the moment, an enthusiasm grows within you that arises from the here and now. Another important idea in Stoicism that helps you find joy is acceptance. We often lose our joy in life when we fight against things we cannot change, but the Stoics teach that true strength and calm come from accepting things as they are. This doesn't mean simply putting up with problems, but rather accepting reality without letting it get us down. Acceptance takes the pressure off us and saves energy for what we can truly influence. When you accept what is, you create space for new joy. You no longer fight against what you cannot change, but focus your energy on making the most of the moment, no matter how difficult it may be. Setting goals that are truly important to you is another important step in igniting your enthusiasm. The Stoics knew the importance of having a goal that gives our lives meaning. When we choose goals that align with our values and dreams, our lives feel more worthwhile and exciting. Goals point us in the right direction and give us a reason to wake up each day full of joy and energy. When you find goals that align with your true self, your life becomes exciting and fulfilling. These goals are like markers that continually motivate you to keep going. The more you pursue your goal, the more your enthusiasm grows, and you get closer to living a happy life. Self-love is also an important realization. When our joy wanes, we often tend to criticize ourselves and think we're not doing enough. But the Stoics remind us to be gentle with ourselves and understand that growth is a journey, one that isn't always straight. When you treat yourself kindly, an inner voice emerges that encourages you to keep going instead of bringing you down. Self-love brings calm to the heart and reminds you that you are a human being who is learning and developing. When you are kind to yourself, you help yourself stay motivated and keep striving to improve. Another important concept in Stoicism is resilience, the ability to keep getting up even when things get tough. Life often presents us with challenges, but resilience gives us the strength to deal with them. When you develop resilience, you learn to see difficulties as opportunities for growth rather than reasons to give up. This ability to not give up makes you strong. It shows you that you can overcome anything that comes your way. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to prove your strength, to get up, and to move on with renewed energy. Resilience builds your self-confidence and helps you see that you can overcome anything that comes your way. It leads you to a life that has meaning and is not dominated by fear. Showing kindness to others is also a wonderful way to bring more enthusiasm into your life. Stoicism reminds us that we are all connected. When you help someone or are kind, you not only do good for them but also for yourself. It makes you happy and fulfilled because you know you are making the world a little bit better. Acts of kindness often bring surprising happiness and show you that joy grows when you share it. Every loving act strengthens your connection with others and adds meaning to your everyday life. It transforms ordinary days into special moments and fills you with warmth and joy. Another principle of Stoicism that can restore enthusiasm is living simply. In a world full of distractions and constantly new desires, Stoicism shows us the importance of focusing on what is essential. When you choose a simpler life, you will find more balance and be able to direct your energy toward what truly makes you happy. Simplicity reduces stress and clears the mental clutter that often dampens your joy. Living simply helps you understand that true happiness lies not in acquiring more and more, but in appreciating what you already have. This gratitude for what you possess fills you with lasting enthusiasm and brings peace and contentment every day. Stoicism also shows us the importance of setting clear boundaries. If you feel overwhelmed by too many things at once, it's often because your attention is being pulled in many directions. By setting boundaries, you protect your time and energy and ensure you use them for what matters most. These boundaries help you live a life that is clear and purposeful. They remind you that your enthusiasm grows when you prioritize the things that truly matter to you. Every boundary you set shows that you respect yourself and are intentionally shaping your life rather than simply getting things done. This focus gives you new strength and increases your joy because you are living your life according to your own values. Another important lesson is to embrace challenges. The Stoics didn't see difficulties as problems, but as opportunities to become stronger. When you face difficult situations, you train your mind to see them as opportunities to grow. This perspective helps you see obstacles not as distractions, but as incentives to improve. When you embrace challenges, your life becomes an exciting adventure, full of opportunities and new possibilities. This perspective allows your enthusiasm to grow because you see every difficulty as an opportunity to become stronger and wiser. Patience is also a very important skill. Sometimes you lose the joy when things don't work out right away, but Stoicism teaches us to trust the process. Patience helps you stay focused and motivated even if you don't see quick results. It gives you inner peace because it shows you that change takes time and every small step is valuable. Patience builds enthusiasm because you focus on the journey and not just the destination. It ensures a fulfilling life in which you recognize the value of every moment. It's also important to regularly take time to reflect on life. When you consider what you've experienced, what you've learned, and how you've changed, you see how far you've come. These thoughts help you appreciate each day more and feel more aware and meaningful about your life. Reflecting on this regularly keeps you connected to your happiness and helps you see that every moment teaches you new things. This perspective increases your enthusiasm because you see your journey as one full of development and meaning, not just a list of to-dos. Through all these Stoic teachings, enthusiasm becomes a natural part of your life, a force that helps you keep going even in difficult times. Each of these pillars of wisdom helps you create a life that feels strong, balanced, and full of joy. When you practice gratitude, patience, and inner strength, you develop an attitude that recognizes beauty and meaning in every moment, a life that fulfills you and allows you to start each day with renewed joy. Stoicism not only changes how we live, but also opens us to a deeper power that shows us how to calm down and go with the flow of life. In a world that often drives us to always want more, Stoicism shows us the importance of finding inner peace in order to achieve what is truly important to us. Relaxing doesn't mean doing nothing. It means being still in the here and now, detaching from the outcome, and trusting that the path will lead us to our goals. When you relax and embrace life, you attract everything you desire and live in a way that brings you true happiness and joy. The first important teaching in Stoicism, which helps you achieve your goals through relaxation, is the acceptance of life. When you accept life as it is, instead of wishing it were different, you open yourself to the richness of the moment. Acceptance brings deep peace and helps you let go of the stress caused by unfulfilled desires. When you accept what you cannot change, you focus on what you can influence and create a calm, open life. This attitude allows you to get what you want without constantly fighting against it, and your life naturally falls into place around your goals. Letting go is an important lesson that helps us live more freely. Many people think their happiness depends on achieving certain things, but Stoicism shows us that we can pursue our goals without clinging too tightly to them. Letting go doesn't mean you stop working towards your dreams. It means trusting the path and knowing that the outcome isn't the most important thing. When you free yourself from the thought of having to reach a certain goal, you can enjoy the journey. You realize that your happiness doesn't depend on a single moment, but can be found all around you. This freedom makes it easier for you to live your dreams without letting fear or expectations hold you back. Gratitude is also a key to bringing more peace and serenity into your life. When you focus on what you already have, your friends, your family, beautiful moments, you realize how rich your life already is. Gratitude helps you see the value in your life, even when not everything seems perfect on the outside. It shows you that true fulfillment doesn't come from always wanting more, but from loving what you have. When you're grateful, a feeling of contentment arises that doesn't depend on new things. You'll notice that even more beautiful things come into your life because you are open and not always looking for something new. Gratitude brings inner peace and helps you appreciate life as it is. Patience is also very important in Stoicism when it comes to remaining calm and collected. In our fast-paced world, we often want to see success immediately. This impatience can frustrate and stress us. But patience shows us that everything takes time to grow and develop. Instead of forcing something to happen immediately, we learn to trust the natural flow of life and to relax over time. Patience gives us the strength to remain calm and know that everything will fall into place at the right time. It helps us think clearly and not look for quick solutions. Patience makes us strong because we calmly surrender to life and believe that it will bring us the right things. Another key point is simplicity. Our world is full of distractions and the desire for more and more, which often overwhelms us. But when we choose simplicity, we remember what is truly important. Simplicity doesn't mean we have to have less, but rather that we focus on what truly makes us happy. When we free ourselves of unnecessary baggage, we create space for clarity and can direct our energy to what matters most. A simple life helps us feel less stressed and shows us that true happiness lies not in abundance, but in appreciating the simple things. When we choose simplicity, we bring more joy and peace into our lives. Trusting in the natural course of life is also very important for being calm and relaxed. We often try to control everything, to plan our every move and determine what will happen next. But this urge for control usually leads to stress and frustration. Stoicism shows us that it is important to trust in life. Often life gives us exactly what we need, but not always in the way we expect. When we trust in the flow of life, we can let go and just let things happen without constantly being afraid of the outcome. We learn to surrender to the process and be open to new possibilities, no matter how they present themselves. When we trust that everything has its right time, we feel calmer and can better deal with whatever happens. Living intentionally is an important lesson for a peaceful and fulfilling life. This means starting each day with a clear plan and making sure that what you do aligns with your values and your big dreams. When you live intentionally, you give direction to your everyday life and don't get distracted by everything that's happening around you. Every small action becomes a step in the right direction. You're no longer trapped by spontaneous desires or rash decisions, but instead focus on what's truly important to you. When you live intentionally, you feel like your life has meaning and is moving toward a purpose. By listening to your deepest desires and acting upon them, you attract people and opportunities that will help you along the way. Forgiveness is a powerful tool for inner peace. When you hold on to anger or pain from the past, you block new things from coming into your life. Stoicism shows us that forgiveness is important first and foremost for ourselves, not just for others. Forgiving doesn't mean condoning bad things. It means choosing to let go of the burden of those feelings. When you forgive, you can let go of the past and make room for new, beautiful experiences. This frees you to move forward and enjoy life without heavy memories. Forgiveness brings you a peace within yourself that helps you live a life full of joy and new opportunities. Setting boundaries is also important for a happy life. In today's world, many people often feel overwhelmed because they do too much at once and forget about themselves in the process. Boundaries help us realize that our time and energy should only be spent on the things that are truly important to us. When you set healthy boundaries, you protect yourself and make room for what really helps you. This doesn't mean you're selfish, but rather that you respect and take care of yourself. When you say no to things that aren't good for you, you can better focus on what makes you happy and supports your goals. Your life becomes clearer and calmer, and you can direct your energy toward what is important to you. Resilience, the ability to bounce back after difficult times, is an important skill. Life continually presents us with challenges. Resilience doesn't mean avoiding problems, but facing them with strength and calm. When you're resilient, you remain calm even when things go wrong. You don't see obstacles as insurmountable, but as opportunities to learn. Every challenge makes you stronger, and you can look forward with courage. Resilience shows you that you can overcome anything that comes your way. When you develop this inner strength, you remain calm no matter how difficult things get, and you'll find that your courage helps you attract success and good opportunities. Taking care of yourself is also very important for a peaceful life. Self-care means taking care of your body and mind and making sure you stay healthy and happy. When you take good care of yourself, you create a strong foundation for everything you want to achieve. Self-care doesn't mean thinking only about yourself. It means making sure you have enough energy to pursue your goals. When you take time to rest, you show that your well-being is important to you. This helps you stay calm and balanced and attract beautiful things into your life. You'll find that by taking care of yourself, you not only become stronger, but also better able to help others. Self-knowledge is also an important step toward a fulfilling life. When you know exactly what's important to you, your strengths and your dreams, you make decisions that suit you. This self-knowledge leads to a life that feels good because you're not obsessing over things that don't belong to you. As you understand yourself better, you can shape your life to align with your values. This self-knowledge helps you attract what truly suits you and leads to a life full of joy and contentment. Going through life with curiosity helps you stay calm and open to new things. Many people have fixed expectations about how things should go. When everything turns out differently, they are quickly disappointed. But those who remain curious see life as an exciting journey of discovery, not just a race to a goal. Curiosity makes it easier to cope with disappointments because it shows that every experience is valuable, even if it turns out differently than expected. It keeps you alert and open to new possibilities and ensures that you experience life with joy and excitement. This openness brings you new adventures that allow you to grow and makes your journey full of exciting discoveries. Humility helps you relax and attract good things naturally. Many people often feel pressured to prove themselves to others in order to gain recognition. But Stoicism tells us that humility can remove this pressure and show us that our worth doesn't depend on what others think of us. When you're humble, you focus more on yourself and don't try to impress others. Humility gives you inner peace because you no longer have to prove who you are. Instead, you live with a calm confidence. This way of living attracts what's truly good for you and helps you live a genuine and fulfilling life. With these Stoic nuggets of wisdom, life becomes easier, and it's easier for you to achieve what you desire. Each lesson shows you how to find peace in the moment, how to find strength in simplicity, and how to experience joy in every step. When you embrace life, are grateful, and remain strong, you build a life that feels easy and natural, a life that's perfectly suited to you. These lessons teach you to live fully, without having to force anything. They help you create a peaceful and fulfilling life. In just 3 months, you can completely change your life. When you follow the path of Stoicism, you'll not only change your habits, but also your view of the world. You'll learn to be courageous and independent, and to live at peace with yourself. You'll understand that you don't need the approval of others, but can instead focus on gratitude and self-control. With every small step, you'll build a life that's driven by a clear purpose, not by your feelings or external pressure. This journey goes far beyond self-improvement. It's about reclaiming your inner power, staying true to yourself, and becoming the best version of yourself. As you grow, this transformation will shine from within, revealing a strength that doesn't depend on the approval of others. You'll find a calmness that remains firm and a confidence that comes from following your true path. If you're ready to start this journey, tell us in the comments what you'd like to change in the next 3 months. We'd love to hear your thoughts, goals, and dreams. And if you enjoyed this guide, don't forget to subscribe. Join a community that grows together, stays strong, and becomes the best version of itself step by step. Together, we can achieve great things.